I know the date is wrong for the title. It's staying that way because Atsuko thought she'd run up in here and fucking correct me before the show even goddamn started. So we're going to have 2 shows for the 26th. Ten minutes before the show even started, she tried to correct me. Yeah, okay. That would be a first. That'd be I guess it's the first time for everything, huh? What if I told you that there's a device to stick your testicles in that makes your testicles hard from the pressure it puts on them, so you can use your testicle skin sac to penetrate your lover or your enemy? I don't know. Anybody, really. Called a baldo. Because we're never dropping now. Beat the odds, beat the big house. The brains are bigger than the doubt. We've been thinking for ourselves, never let the truth fade away. Memorial Day is for people that died at war. All these Q accounts on Twitter keep posting like weird regular videos and saying, what do you see here? What do you think's happening? But it's just like a normal video.
I'll give you an example in just a second. What I heard, Bug Dude. It's exactly what I heard. And I'm tired of it, frankly. Stupid Itsuko. Now the show's got to have the wrong fucking date on it the whole time.
Hey daddies, it's me, the Linda Binda from TikTok. I wanted to make this video because I wanted to thank you for watching Cold Beer Confessionals with Will Bird. I think that's just incredible. I've watched a few episodes and I'm just like very intrigued. But you know what I'm most intrigued in is Big Daddy's meat stick. I heard that it's very thick, like a good old German sausage. You know, Linda and her coochie loves that. Oh, never mind. Let's not go there. Anyways, I hope you have a good show and enjoy it as you can. There's a lot of weird things that go on, especially when it comes from the realm of Linda Bindaland. So, enjoy the show. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
Welcome everybody. The date on the show is wrong. Why is it wrong? Because it's Itsuko. I didn't even have time. I was just coming up with a title. Wasn't even starting the show yet. When that was going on, and she thought it'd be a great idea to come and correct me 10 minutes before the show starts. The fuck is she doing? Also, does Phil's Carrie, now have fake tits? That is the question we all want answered. Does Carrie now have fake tits? I'm super interested. Check this out. Let's pull something up. Put that in. Pull this up. You load. Look at this. There. Looks like you could motorboat those tits. There. You wouldn't notice this in a car with no suspension. Wait. Wait till you see a bandana holding them up. There. That's called Carrie with a side of tots. Carrie with a side of tots. There, and then wha-bow. That's what I'm not being derogatory. This one's called wah, and this one's called bow. I think she named them. Does she have fake tits? Is that what we're looking at here? Tattoos to cover up stretch marks on belly. This looks like Girls Weekend at Lake Havasu. I wonder if the IRS will seize them. That'd be... Shut the fuck up, Itsuko. We know. I can't help it. You don't know what Jarbo is. We know. We get it. Got to go to the mod chat and hear her fucking yell at me too. Getting real fucking tired of the Chinese secret spy, okay? Anyways, what I was talking about, the Q accounts, I think she's got fake tits. Motorboat them. But this is one of those weird Q accounts, Matt Wallace, and it just says this video of Taylor Swift is going super viral. What do you see? Nothing. They do this all the time. Like, it's just are you just trying to get us to watch the whole video? No, there's nothing. I mean, that's how she always looks. That's not. She's not pregnant. It's just they just keep sending these videos of nothing. All the Q accounts do it. I bet you this account's done it more than once. So let me see. This isn't the account that I usually see it on. But disturbing footage shows migrant. It'll say like, watch this video. What do you think? Okay. In Hollywood, you get upwards of applause for wearing devil symbolism. Meanwhile, if you try to wear a Jesus dress, Vladimir Putin just arrived. What do you notice about the comparison to Joe Biden? So obviously, I guess that's the stairs thing. Is that what we're supposed to look at? Where is another one? It's not usually this account, though. They did share it. What would you do if this creature came up to you in the wild? This is a weird fucking account, dude. Pay close attention to this video of Taylor Swift performing. Maybe he's just a secret Swiftie. Strange report, Kate Middleton on the cover of Tadler magazine is going viral. This is clearly the most faked photo in the world. It looks like they glued a kid's face to a basketball. The reason it looks so weird is it's a weird cropping. There was like a whole family on this ship or something that they were all on this boat, but it was something like they were all together and there was like a couple more families on this boat. That just looks weird. The Chinese boy from the Goonies. Well, kind of all Asian people look like the Chinese boy from the Goonies. Anyways, what's up, guys? What's happening? I'm deleting your message from the mod chat. At Suko. Ass Tuco. Shit gets old. Look how early I'm on. Isn't that good? Anyways, the stuff we covered the other day with Nick Rekieta is just completely out of hand. Before we get started, if you want to support the show, make a contribution to the show, please consider going to coldbeer.fund, coldbeer.fund, where you can support the show, keep it going the way it has been going, which is going to change some, but you can help keep it going, pay the bills, whatever. Donations have been down, but I've been kind of depressed. So maybe it's my fault, assholes. Anyways, the Nick Rekieta story has went wild. Now, the guy that's so Nick Rekieta's not talking about it. He still says he's fine, nothing's going on. It's bad that all these rumors are out there about him. But the guy that his wife left and started a throuple with the Requetas. Now, he's telling the story, and it is a very strange story that's being told. I was trying to find Ricada Law is his. So he says, someone said Nick would trash Vic a lot. He'd trash his sexuality, said it wasn't his fault. It was Vic's fault. Bro. And Nick says, yeah, right. Now this guy is a calculus equation. As credibility approaches negative infinity. Okay. That was from 9 hours ago. Does he have a, there's a post that he made yesterday. Does he have a personal account? I know he went to Rumble, right? Rumble exclusively. Wasn't that a big deal that his channel got deleted, but then he got it back, but he was already on Rumble. So I don't know, something like that. He streamed 9 days ago on YouTube though. Let's see. His Twitter's Ricada Law, his locals, Odyssey, Minds. There's a Facebook. I don't know if he'll be posted on Facebook much. Let's see. We're going to listen to, oh God, that is a bad image. Lady Rackets and I wish ball for Make-A-Wish. Over $1 million raised tonight. God, that's a rough picture. And this was like a year ago, and it's still bad. Anyways, so he's not posted on Facebook. I'm on his Twitter account. I thought there was a response Twitter. We read one yesterday. It's like, gotta wait for everything to comes out. I'll be addressing this. But I feel like just because he's an addict, he's going to blame everybody else. I don't want to show you. Atsuko ruins your guys' privileges tonight. The show's going to be horrible. It's going to suck. And I'm going to be very, very anti-Chinese. Just so everybody fucking knows. Let's just shut it down here. Fuck it. I don't feel like getting canceled. This is from April 28th. That is a rough picture. A lot of roughness going on there. Dang it, Nikki. You lost the case again. Oh, no. Lady Rackets. Nick, please get help. I'm praying for you and all your family. A perfect couple, someone said. A perfect couple, you think? A perfect throuple. So you guys know the girl that moved in with him, April, she was fixing to lose her license like a year ago. Or maybe it's a little bit longer than that. Like a year ago, she was fixing to lose her license. She got pulled over for like her 5th fucking speeding ticket. She had some parking stuff. She had some failure to yield stuff. She had a bunch of stuff on her driving record. So she was getting ready to lose her driver's license. And at the time, they were all fucking each other's wives. And Nick said, oh, no. Don't worry about that. I'll go to court. The judge loves me. Don't worry about it. You're not going to lose your license. We'll get you to take a driver's course or whatever, and you'll be fine. We won't get the points on your license. Leave it all to me. And she's like, I don't know. They told me to show up to court, so I was just going to go, and I guess I'm going to lose my license. He's like, no. I'm the lawyer here. Leave it up to me. The judge loves me. The day of the court case comes, and Nick will have you think that he was sick in the morning, and it was like a 7 a.m. court appearance. The day of the court case comes, he's supposed to appear at 3 p.m. on her behalf, tells her not to go, and he doesn't show up. So not only did she lose her license and got a warrant for her arrest, but she also had to pay the max penalty plus court costs and reinstatement fees. He didn't fucking go. No wonder the judge Jennifer hates him. Wasn't that her name? Jenna Fisher? Something like that. It seems like, I heard PPP say this the other day. If Nick is your lawyer, you get the worst possible outcome. Like, you know how a lot of times they say, like, it's punishable with up to 5 years and a $5,000 fine. If Nick's your lawyer, you'll probably get 10 years and $10,000 if he shows up. I don't think he's a very good lawyer. He lives off a trust from his dad. His dad was very wealthy and left him a trust. He's not a very good lawyer. Actually, when he started blowing up on YouTube, it was probably pretty bad for him because that became his main source of income. He kind of became addicted to that. And in 1 year, he made like $1.3 million in super chats, which is insane. Which is insane. It's just crazy. It's crazy. Anyways, let's go look up some of this shit. I think it was on Keno Casino. If you don't know who Keno Casino is, it's Andy Worski and PPP. And I think they did so that's 3 hours, but I think on the Clips channel, they did a shorter one, but it doesn't matter. We can skip around in it. There was just some wild shit revealed in this. Absolutely wild. So again, let me lay this out for you, okay? Let me lay this out for you. We have so here's where we're at, okay? We have Nick. I have to move this for you. We have Nick Rekieta, right? And we have his wife, Kayla Rekieta. And then we have Aaron Imholtz, I think's his last name. And then we have his wife, which would be, what's her name? April Imholtz. Okay. Now, apparently, the way this all got started is there have always been rumors about Kayla and Nick, like swinger rumors. And back in the day, Nick admitted that he went to like the hedonism shit, right? The hedonism island tour, cruise, whatever it is. He went there, and on the stream, somebody asked him, like, are you guys fucking swingers? What are you doing at hedonism? Are you guys swingers? And he's like, oh, yeah, we're swingers, right? And then he says something like later on in the stream as a callback for a joke. He's like, well, we got to go. We got to go have sex with other people. And his wife's like, what? What? Oh, my God. And trying to play it off. But that kind of started a lot of the rumors. Then he's very weird, sexualizing some of his audience members. There's one woman that turns out to be a dude trolling him. There's like one woman who claims she's a mechanic, and she's like, I'm just ugly. You probably don't even like my tits. And he's like, I want to see your tits. And that's all public because it was on his Discord. That was all weird. He's drinking heavily. He's clearly doing cocaine. So when they go out to Vegas, before that, there was, he's going to tell the rest of the story, but before they go to Vegas, there was a comedy show. And Aaron was running this comedy show, right? He was in charge of the entertainment. And another entertainer couldn't be there. Her dad was murdered. So instead of having her on, he got Nick Rekieta to fill a slot, or part of a slot. Like she was supposed to do a large slot, like a full, like maybe an hour or something. Let's say 30 minutes. So instead, they got like 3 or 4 people to do like 10 minutes apiece, and Nick was one of them, okay? It was Chrissy Teigen. She was supposed to do some shit. Right? Oh, no, who was it that was supposed to do? I don't remember. I don't know why I said Chrissy Teigen. I might have made that up from a video I was watching earlier. Anyways, they had a female that was supposed to do part of the show, and she didn't. So they did comedy instead, and it was like 3 or 4 of them filled in. Chrissy Teigen is not even a fucking comedian. What's the comedian's name that got I Dabble? What's her name? The Dabble verse. I don't know why I say Chrissy Teigen. She was interviewing, what's his name? And from, God damn it, I can't remember anything. From Stuttering, she was interviewing Stuttering John, and she said, you dabble in comedy, got mad, and then she's like, you do comedy, doesn't it? And she's like, I dabble. What was that comedian's name? It's that female comedian, right? I don't know why I said Chrissy Teigen. Isn't she like an actress or some shit? I don't do celebrity names. We'll figure it out in a minute. Anyways, so they got him in the comedy show and they had dinner a couple times. And there's these swinger rumors about Nick and them. And his wife says, so Aaron says to his wife, well, you know, I find Kayla attractive. You know, I think she's pretty and she's attractive or whatever. Maybe there's something to this lifestyle. And she agrees to it like a little suspiciously quick. Like if I went to Mariah and I was like, hey, this other bitch is hot and I heard they swing, Mariah would probably slap me. But if I went to this other bitch and I was like, hey, I heard this, I went to Mariah and said, hey, this other bitch is hot and maybe they swing. And she's like, oh yeah, and her husband's awesome. That would be weird, right? Right? I don't know. Here we go. Let's check it out. It's definitely gone deeper than I thought it would ever go. He is spilling everything, and we're about to have front row seats. Here we go. Chrissy Mayer? That's it. Chrissy Teigen. Chrissy Mayer. Isn't that her name? Did I just remember it? Is that a person or is that the wrong name? Chrissy Mayer. No, that's probably not her. Something Mayer. I don't know. I'm getting worse. I'm getting further off, I think. All right, so these are the guys from the Keno Casino. And this is Andy Worski. He's old Killstream. I used to watch him when I was young. This is PPP. They do a show together called the Keno Casino. This is some of their clips, but it's 3-hour-long clips, so we're going to jump around some. Yeah, it is Chrissy Mayer, but it's spelled M-A-Y-R. Chrissy Mayer. I think her dad died. She couldn't make the show. I know this is irrelevant to it, but it was bothering me that I said Chrissy Teigen. Yeah, so he was shot and killed. That's how Nick Rekieta got hooked up with these people. I know. I'm trying to get past. I know there's no sound. I'm trying to get past all their fucking bullshit intro stuff. Chrissy Mayer, M-A-Y-R. Jesus Christ, let's do the interview.
And you know what you should do? You should go to rehab. You should show some contrition. You should show.
Here's where Aaron comes on. 45 minutes in or something.
Shit, and remember, he's heading to the sex.
Oh, you were right, Virgie.
Get a funnel.
I just want us all to see on the board behind me. I think it's very important for people to know we are powerless over our addictions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Very good lesson to learn.
Okay, we are already.
We need a power. What is it? Greater than ourselves.
All right.
To help us
before we get into everything, why don't you let them know who you are, where they can watch your show, and all that?
Okay, again, the guy in the top right corner, because it's this weird like throuple, like two couples, and they're not swinging. I guess there's a difference between swinging and switching. They're not swinging, they're switching. He fucks Nick's wife, Nick fucks his wife, and when they're separate, they don't care what the other one does. And they all hang out in the bed together. They all sleep, but it sounds like they don't fuck in the same room, but they all sleep in the same bed. Now, Nick has a 16-year-old kid. Could you imagine being 16-year-old and there is mom and dad and mom and dad's girlfriend and boyfriend? You'd have to figure it. 16-year-old, you know what's fucking going on. I had been laid a ton by the time I hit 16. Like, you know what the fuck's going on in there.
I'm Aaron Imholt, the host of the Steel Toe Morning Show, or if you dislike me, the biggest cuck on the internet.
Okay.
Currently. No.
To be fair, what he was doing was not technically cuckoldry. Cuckoldry is when you like to watch someone fuck your wife. But internet term cuck, it was very cuck-like behavior. He was cleaning this man's house, feeding his kids, mopping the floor, doing his dishes. Like, he was doing some very internet slang cuck-like behavior, even though it's not technically cuckoldry or being by definition, cuck. He didn't watch his wife get fucked. But if some other dude's fucking my wife and I'm cleaning his house and someone called me a cuck, I'd be like, yeah, kind of. I get it. I get where you're coming from. I understand what you're putting down, Atsuko. I really, really, really regret I didn't use her visit to America to punch her right in the fucking mouth. Anyways, back to the show. Not my own personal demons.
Look, I know we're going to get into a lot of stuff, and I know I'm here to be Ray Liotta in Goodfellas, but I do have to say, and PPP has said it on multiple episodes, and Andy, I know you and I have talked. I think PPP's coverage of this, Ashton's coverage has been fantastic. I've laughed my fucking balls off when he's calling me a homosexual, right? And a degenerate and everything else. He's not wrong. I was all of those things. There's no, like, everybody's criticism. Those who don't like me who go, oh, you were a
He also says some things that I probably wouldn't say, and he has an excuse built in here where he's like, oh, yeah, I was doing coke, and the kids had like a container of coke one time, and I was doing Molly, and Nick licked it off my face one time, and whatever, right? And he's like, my ex, who he has joint custody with, my ex, he says at the beginning of this, if she ever found out, she would take my kids in a heartbeat. If she found out I was having this throuple and doing coke and drugs and everything, she would take my kids in a heartbeat. But then he says later on, like, my ex has been great about this. She's been a real trooper. She's been with me along the way, blah, blah, blah. But he's still revealing, like, he had drugs around his kids. He didn't call the cops on, like, Nick and them when he saw the situation that their kids were in. Not to mention, there may be, like, some prosecution there. Even if it's not his wife taking custody, Nick's wife was charged for knowing that abuse was going on. He knew that abuse was going on, and he admits it in this interview, which is very strange.
Degenerate, you went to this place. Yes, that's my whole point. I am guilty. I am working through this. I am working it off. I am paying it off. The problem I have is 3 other people who are involved in this will not admit their guilt and atone for what they've done wrong.
So, Aaron, can I just get you correct? You're going to admit to them today that you engaged in homosexual activities?
No, I did not. Nick Rekieta licked my face 3 times, and it was always unasked for.
Okay.
Nick Rekieta licked my face 3 times. It was always unasked for, is what he just said.
So I'm just going to ask you, before we get into the...
It's very long. I'm sorry I got to sped up, but it's super long. The only way we're going to be able to get through it is sped up. I'll translate if I have to.
Only reason he licked my face is because I have a terrible habit of leaving Molly on my cheek. That's the only reason he licked.
Is that serious? He was trying to lick Molly off your cheek or what? In this case, it's hard to tell what's a joke because it's so insane.
I have to be careful with you because you'll take it as serious.
No, Aaron, but everything is so degenerate that saying that.
I shaved my head today.
No, it really is. Okay, so before we go into, because I kind of want you to give us like a chronological walkthrough of everything.
Oh, shit.
But before we do that, I want to.
My head looks gigantic. I can't help it. I've tried to shrink it. I put salt on it. Let it bake out in the sun. It's just huge. I don't know what to tell you. I've only got like 3 buttons left on a normal human-sized hat. I got a big head.
On the floor story. Can we hear the crying on the floor story?
The crying on the floor story. First of all, I should have been more specific. But the crying on the floor, well, is that different than the fix her story?
Tell us both.
Okay, the fixer story is this. Well, now, we're going to jump out of order, and we're going to get way ahead in the story, but all right.
Yes.
So, I don't think it's any secret.
Yes, go for it.
I received messages from people saying, how dare you reveal all this? I'm like, I'm pretty sure you guys getting arrested revealed all this, but it's no secret that, people call it swinging. I would say it was just more straight up, just switching up, more than anything else. And
So, again, when we watched the interview with Ethan Ralph, he said, so y'all were just fucking, everybody was just fucking everybody? And he said, no. I can't tell you that everybody wasn't fucking everybody. And then Ethan said, okay, so they had a throuple? No, they didn't have a throuple. And then when Ethan reiterated it later, he said, no, I didn't say that. I very specifically didn't say that in the way you asked it. And I don't think Ethan heard him say in the way you asked it, because he would have followed up and been like, well, let me ask it differently. So he's now admitting that all this happened, the switching.
Look, whoever she is now, whoever she is when I'm not around, when I was around, I'll admit to you, boys, I did fall in love with the Kayla that was around me. Whoever this person is.
I feel like their energy's all fake. Like them hopping each other up and bouncing and Worski always laughing like he's on fucking coke and bouncing around. Like, I believe their energy's fake, but it makes them money. They make a shit ton of money. They've got a way more successful show than I do. So I don't know what I can say. Hell, my show's fucking failing.
Whoever she was, and Nick would tell me himself, he would go, I've never seen her like this in years. There was something about the way her and I connected. There was shit we said to each other that we probably shouldn't have. But there was I just developed a very deep connection. You know, April was, doing the substances she was doing with Nick, and I was not okay with it. Her and I fought about it a lot. When you confront people who are on those substances, they tend to call you a lot of shit that kind of fucks with you.
When he says April,
question my own.
When he says April, he's talking about his wife at the time, ex-wife, but she's not the mother of his kid. She's a stepmom. When he says Kayla, he's talking about the other man's wife. April, his wife, Kayla, the other wife. Because he just goes through it, and I kept getting confused with which one was which one he was talking about, arguing with this one and talking to that one and whatever.
Worth and sanity and whatnot. And when Kayla hears those kind of things and she comes up and she gives you a hug and she says, I just want to let you know you're a good man. Like, you're at such a low point when you're doing all this shit that's all it takes. And you're like, you know what? I'm going to cling to this person because they make me feel like I'm worth a shit. And she did that. I will say this. Kayla Ricada, for all her faults, for all this and whatever we may talk about, I really did develop a deep affection for that woman, and that was reciprocated. It's unfortunate the way things went, but I really did see that there's something in her that wants to be done with this. There's just no, I mean, in the position, in the situation you're in, there's no opportunity to actually do it.
May I ask you one thing? So you told me, and I'm pretty sure you said this on your show too, there was something about like you guys were like soulmates, like you had conversations about being soulmates?
We were in bed one night, and when Nick would be on his streams, April would be the corner demon. Of course, I think that's pretty much figured out by now. I'm not spilling any. But April would go down there, and the sickest part about me and a level of degeneracy I'll cop to is I didn't want to be around my wife. I wanted to be around Kayla. So when those two went off and did their thing, it didn't bother me at all. And as a husband, that's disgusting. That's degenerate. I think as PPP said, you have to answer to men and God on shit like that. But that was just the way it was. That's the situation I was in. And I'm sorry, Andy, I'm jumping all over the place.
No, you're good.
Yeah, no. It's very enlightening, everything you're saying. It's fantastic. I mean, it's awesome. You're doing great.
Yeah, Andy, you said the soulmate thing. That's
the soulmate thing. No, it's fine. It's unfolding the story. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
We were in bed one night. We were lying together, and she whispered to me, she goes, I think you're my soulmate. And the way we were.
But I don't think that was supposed to happen. So the way this started out, I think he says it in a second. He sounds very homosexual, like when he says that. But anyway, the way it was supposed to happen is more time with your spouse than your other, the other person you're sleeping with. So they would spend like maybe one day with the switch, and the rest of the time they would be their spouse. But they weren't supposed to fall in love. They weren't like changing partners for good, or I'm going to marry her and you marry. They weren't supposed to fall in love. It was just supposed to be like a sex thing, I guess. So he says I may have went too far saying we're soulmates, whatever.
I said, I agree. I feel that too. There was just such a deep connection there. It's a connection we definitely got chastised for by the other two parties.
How do they find out about that?
Not necessarily that. It's just the closeness.
They witnessed you guys getting closer and closer.
One thing, Kayla was sleeping once, and April and Nick, we were in the bathroom where the safe and everything were discovered. We were in there, and I was sitting on a chair. I'm not going to say they sat me down, but I'm sitting on a chair, and the two of them are close to me, and they're going, do you understand that when you and Kayla talk to each other, nobody else can get a word in, and you don't even hear other people? It's like you're closed off in your own little world. And I'm sitting there going, well, based on what we're doing, guys, isn't that kind of the fucking idea? And they're like, well, Nick and I don't do that.
Molly's not. Well, Molly can be pressed into a pill. A lot of people just lick Molly like a powder or parachute it.
I'm like, that's your fucking problem, not mine. Like, I'm talking to this person. I'm connecting with this person. I'd like to talk and speak to this person. I don't know what to tell you. There were always these weird rules. Like, you play pickup basketball or pickup football, and some kid always wants to change the rules in the middle of the game. Like, now I got to have 2 feet in bounds instead of 1. Yeah. That's kind of how it felt. Like, if Kayla and I got too far front or forward, affection-wise or feeling-wise, then the other two had to slam on the brakes, and that included.
Sometimes it'd be pressed into a pill. Sometimes it'd be put in a capsule. But it's like it could be like almost like crystal looking, almost like dirty looking meth, like
President
little crystals.
2024 just gifted 5 subs.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. It can be pink crystals. I've seen it be pink or blue crystals. But in most forms, you find it in a powder, almost like cocaine, but chunkier.
Shitting on the other one to me, or shitting on me to her, or Nick would always, the thing that actually led me to ultimately leave one night, it was a Thursday night, 7 weeks ago. Nick started questioning me about where Kayla put her prescription pills one night. Nick, we were sitting up in the bed watching a movie, and Kayla was there, and she went to grab her sleeping pills.
He hasn't said anything about the studio yet.
This was a couple nights before Nick confronted me about this. Well, I guess Nick got a hold of Kayla's phone and started reading her messages, and there were really affectionate, heavy messages from Kayla and I, and he didn't like that. And he starts texting me, and he starts going, where did Kayla put those pills the other night? I was like, what do you mean? She goes, did she put them on your dick? I'm like, well, What? When she set them down on the bed, did she set them where your dick? I'm like, no, I think she set them on.
Thank you for the
I'm
gift
not
of
sure.
sub,
Like I didn't
appreciate
know because I don't remember that shit because
Was
that's
it the
psychotic.
pills loose? Was it the pills
No,
loose?
no. She has them like in
In the case. Okay. In the case. All right.
You have to take medication too. And by the way, before anyone even asks, I only saw her, other than like cocaine and stuff, I only saw her take medication that was prescribed to her. I will say that.
Okay.
But he would start questioning me, and if I didn't know the answer to these things that happened a couple days ago, he'd start freaking out on me. Like, you're a goddamn liar. Why don't you just stop lying? And I'm just like, dude, I just don't know where your wife put her pill. I don't pay attention to this shit. Did you her 2 days ago when you were watching that movie? Did you have sex that? I'm like, Sunday.
So sometimes they'd be all in the bed. So they slept in this bed together like this. I liked you guys know I like to demonstrate. So let me get this open. So they had, I'm assuming it's a king size bed. I don't know that they, or even a California king maybe, but for 4 grown adults to sleep in it. So they slept in the bed like this. So let's make a bed. Oh, let's make a bed. So they sorry. All right, so let's make this the bed where you guys can see it, and we'll go ahead and make it black so it's easy to see. Okay. So in this bed here, okay, was we'll make it blue because he's a boy. On this corner was Aaron. Oh, let's make that bigger. This would be Aaron. Okay. Right. And then on this side over here, we would have, let's make it red. We would have Nick. Oh. We would have Nick. Okay. Now, Nick's wife is going to be pink to go with the red, right? That makes sense. Nick's wife would be with Aaron over here, right? And then Aaron's wife, who's going to be light blue because she's with Aaron, April, would be over here with Nick. And this is the way they slept in the bed. They would lay in the bed. They would watch movies in the bed. And she set her pills on his leg, and Nick freaked out thinking the pills were set on his dick. And they may have had sex that day, and he wanted to know about it immediately. This is how, I can. If you're going to do this, it would seem to me like it would be more like a cheating thing. Like, you go to his house, she'll come to my house, and we'll be separate. Because if you ever could work up the courage or whatever, you're sick of your wife's pussy or whatever to do this switching thing, the last thing I'd want to do, I guess unless you're a cuck, is see it. Even them flirting or hanging out or whatever. Like, I don't want to fucking see it. I don't know. We better keep this open. We might need some more drawings in a minute.
Monday, I think maybe, but then I would realize I was myself.
Right?
Why do you think he was so threatened by you fucking his wife? Like, shouldn't he have been chill with it?
Those two are extremely codependent, and even though they're into, I think they were kind of bored with each other, and that's where April and I came along. And
was it accepted to have sex with her and vice versa? Like, was this like already like okay, guys, I get to her, you get to her.
Let me take responsibility for something else.
Sure.
Well, April and I were on vacation in Las Vegas to watch the Vikings games and hang out with some friends.
Okay.
I did bring it up to her that I thought Kayla was very attractive. And my part of the degeneracy,
So he set this in motion. He knew that there was rumors about them swinging and basically believed it to be true after hanging out with them, even though they didn't outright say it. But he come up and said, hey, I think she's pretty hot. Maybe this is something we should do.
The weakness was it might be interesting to try this because we knew their reputation.
Can you walk me through like the decision process to opening?
Yes. So he says the kids would come, like they were on cocaine, whiskey benders and shit, would sleep all morning. He said like the kids would like knock on the door at like 9 a.m. to their parents' bedroom, and he would answer the door and be like, oh, I'll get you something to eat. Yeah. You hungry? Oh, you need clothes? You need a ride to school? I got you.
Bridge.
The Wednesday night before we left for Los.
Oh, and Nick's kids, so we've heard they're homeschooled, right? Nick's kids are technically homeschooled at a collective that's at a local church where the different parents in the church volunteer to teach. So the kids that knew this stuff was going on, like I've got a new daddy, right? Daddy Aaron. They were going to a church homeschool program. And that's where they stopped. They asked Nick after they saw his show, they asked him to not come back and not be teaching there anymore because he was one of the teachers.
Las Vegas. We went out to dinner with the Ricadas. Now, we met them in October at the comedy show.
Okay.
That, unfortunately, Chrissy Mayer's father was murdered, and she had...
There it is, Chrissy Mayer.
Oh, yeah. I heard
Yeah, it was really sad.
Brutal, yeah.
Chrissy, a good friend of mine.
Oh, she's great. Yeah, I love her.
Wonderful.
So that was the one, sorry, it was the one where Nick performed that as well. You brought him into that show. Yeah, okay, I remember that. Okay. And he told anyone if we covered that show, he would flag it and shit. But yeah, sorry, go ahead. So it was October.
I don't give a f***. I think people who troll me recorded it and played it on their shows.
Yeah, I know. But okay, cool. Timeline, perfect.
So we hung out. We drank afterwards. It was fun. It was a good time. April and Kayla got along great. Nick was on Molly. He and I got along as well as we could. He was cool enough. Then we hung out the next day before they left town. We watched a movie in the morning. And then April would go to their land to hunt. April is a deer hunter. I would go sometimes. November's a little cold for me. I'm kind of a like that. And I would stop hunting around then. She would go to their land to hunt. I've thought about this as time goes on, as I've been away from it. I don't know if they introduced her to anything in that time period or not. I have no idea, but I have my suspicions now. But we went out to eat early December, probably like December 4th, I would think. And we went back to our place. And we all sat and watched a movie. I think it was Inglourious Bastards, actually.
So random. It's just so,
Was it Django?
It was a Tarantino.
You're all high on Molly? Like,
So they were watching Inglourious Bastards and decided to fuck each other's wives.
Tarantino.
No, and that's where it begins.
No, in there? Okay,
No,
okay.
high on Molly. We went to dinner. This was
Each one of you owe me 100 dead Nazis.
in December. We're watching a Tarantino flick.
Okay.
And Nick pulls out the little container that they call a bullet of cocaine. I learned so many cocaine terms, boys.
Let's
in the
go.
last 6 months. It's wonderful. I know about drugs.
Yeah, bullet, for anyone who doesn't know, it's like shaped as a bullet.
Hey, I'm
right?
37 years old and I have 3 children and I did Molly for the first time. What a
Go, buddy. Let's go, buddy.
a degenerate sucker. If there ever
So,
was.
No,
do I tell people what a bullet is? I know what it is, but you go ahead.
Go ahead. You let us know.
Yeah.
So we're watching the Tarantino.
No,
film.
just tell people what a bullet is, because it's not
A little container of cocaine. Like
easy access. You pull it out of your pocket, you go like that, and bang. Yeah.
Give yourself a little
a bump. Yeah, fast bump. Yeah.
Worski knows. I'm a fucking tire boy.
So a bullet can be anything from like it depends on who you're talking to, because drug users call all kinds of weird things. A bullet can be anything to, like, you guys know a pill fob, like that goes on your key ring, like a metal, it's just a metal container you can carry pills in. Some people fill those up with cocaine, but the actual bullet brand looks like this. So you says turn the arrow down, screw off the lid, make sure the arrow is still down, and tap it on a hard surface. Lay the snuff bullet as in the photo, turn your arrow up towards the top, and you are good to go. So the actual bullets, that bullet brand that they make, the snuff bullet, allows you to snort directly out of it, okay? But some people call it key fob, a bullet, as long as it's got cocaine in it or whatever drug of choice. But the actual snuff bullet, you can actually snort directly. Oh, here's a clear one. I can show you this one. This might help clear it. Here's a clear one with a little arrow. So it'll keep, like, this little thing that turns right here. I know it's hard to see because it's over in the corner. This little thing that turns right here closes off the top. But when you turn it to where it opens, it's like a valve, like a water valve or something. You can snort right off the tip. But the way he describes it later on, it doesn't seem like it's one of these bullets. It seems like it's more like a pill fob, because he keeps talking about, he takes out the bullet and lays out 2 or 3 lines. Like, this is supposed to be like a one-hitter quitter, or like you might take a little like key bumps off of it. But basically, this is your dose. You just hit it and you don't dump it out. There's not enough to dump it out to there's not enough to dump it out to like spread it to other people. This is supposed to be like an inconspicuous, like, this is my dose, blah, blah, blah. But he makes it sound like it's bigger. They make drug carriers for illegal drugs, all kinds. You've never seen like the fake stash cans and shit they make? Weed stash cans. So all these are fake cans, fake Pringles, fake Sprite, fake stewed tomatoes. So those are stash cans, all for carrying your pot. And then there is a coffee cup water bong. There's this cup is literally a fake, or is literally a water bong. Let me see if I can open it a different way. It's called the Cupsy. And you pack the bowl, and it's a water bong. Yeah, some 21, except whatever. It's a water bong, so you got a little bowl you pack there. That thing, you can pack it and store it down inside. Then you pop it out, hook it up, light it, hit it, and draw through the straw. Like, there's a bunch of crazy shit like that. Drug people are inventive.
compared to you, buddy. I don't know.
I know.
I'm from the Midwest. I drink beer.
I don't
I
judge.
don't fucking know. I drink beer and watch Timberwolves playoff games. I don't know what the I'm talking about.
Can go.
So we're watching. Hey, shut the up, Ashton. No, I'm just kidding. No, we're watching the Tarantino movie, and
yeah,
Kayla,
drug paraphernalia is not illegal.
Fun, cool.
Well, I guess it is if you got it
here's something
with drugs.
I
But
can see it beginning that way, right? Like your wife.
you could always say I'm smoking tobacco out of it, or I carry pop rocks in it, or some stupid.
And that's what opens the door to it, right?
And I want to say, I respect your, I appreciate your respect as a man. While I'm talking about that, to have both your hands above the screen, I do appreciate it.
Exactly, we got this is Fire Me Up special.
You're a godly man. So they're making out. And here's what's got me thinking that I don't know if something happened before this, while they were, while April was out there hunting or not. I don't think so, timeline-wise, but who knows? Nick goes to run his hands up April's thigh. And I go, whoa, 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 whoa. And he pulls his hand back real fast. I'm sorry, I'm on Molly. I'm sorry, I didn't know. I'm like, all right.
I had to go get a water.
Sure. So I start doing things to my wife while her and Kayla are making out. Nick starts doing things to his wife while they're making out.
Film canisters is good, yeah. People still do that.
Kayla and Nick go in one room, April
around
in
here.
another. April and I both do a little bit of coke. Nick pours a little bit of coke out. April does some, I'm assuming for the first time ever, which she looked at me, she goes, is this okay? I said, I had one bump at a wedding when I was like 30 at that time. And I'm like, I go, it's up to you. You're your own person. You can do what you want. And then I did one bump, and I'm like, God, I forgot. I really don't like this. It doesn't feel good when it goes. I just don't like shit up.
So the problem is, coke is good for like 5 minutes. It lasts longer than crack. Crack's like good for like 1 minute. Coke is good for like 5 minutes, and if you have more on you, it's the type of thing where you're like, oh, that was amazing. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. Then an hour, you went through a fucking 8-ball with your buddies, and you're like, you think they bring us some more?
So we do that. April and I have sex. I'm assuming the two of them had sex.
Yeah, that's called a glass rose. They sell it as a little display. It's called a glass rose, but you got to fish that fucking flower out of there. But that was a way around them selling. They still do it a lot of places. It was like it's more like a meth pop, but yeah, it is. These are the ones we used to bowl. It's a crack pipe. You put some charboy or something in it. But yeah, it looks like this. So they claim it as a gift. They call it love roses, but it's a glass pipe. You take that fucking rose out of there, and that's what people are using it for. Here's what it looks like. Here's what it looks like outside the pipe. You fish that stupid rose out of it, and then you just got a straight pipe. You put some Chorboy or whatever in it. These are the ones these are the ones they still sell, which a lot of people use for meth because they got a little bowl on the end. So meth doesn't actually smoke when you're heating it up. Meth doesn't smoke when you're heating it up. It actually smokes when it cools back down. So when you smoke meth, you get one of these, you put your pieces of meth through the little hole at the end, and then you heat the glass and roll it between your fingers. And so the center of the glass gets hot, it becomes liquid, and you take the flame away. And when you roll it between your fingers, the liquid meth splashes on the side of the glass, cools, and then somebody ban Elizabeth. Cools, and then the smoke comes off that.
And when it's all done, I remember Nick was downstairs. April went downstairs. They're in the kitchen. Kayla comes into my room, comes around the bed, stands by me, and starts showing me like pictures of her family and telling me stuff about her family. Like, here's this person, here's that person, so on and so forth. And I'm like, I'm just kind of like, just because of everything that went on, I'm like, does she like me? Like, we're both married. Is this like I don't really
felt flirtatious energy.
I felt the flirtation, and obviously I thought she was an attractive woman. I'm not sitting here going, oh, it's weird, bitch.
So wives started making out on the couch. They split to their traditional marriage, had sex. Kayla goes to hang out. His wife goes to hang out with Nick in the bathroom or in the kitchen. Nick's wife comes to hang out with him and starts showing him pictures. And he's like, oh, this is weird. He doesn't know what's going on.
Just fucking talk. I was like, oh, it's right. Okay.
So she was coming on to you right away.
I don't know. I'm terrible.
That's the sense. That's
almost like a flirtation. Like the energy was there. You were not the words, but like you're near her, sort of like arms touching. Oh, look at this. Yeah.
We both just had sex. She's leaning over me. Yeah. It's
yeah. Exactly. Okay.
So then April and I leave for Las Vegas the next day, and I am a little weirded out by what happened the day before, and I'm uncomfortable around my wife. But she's talking about this experience.
Fix your
like, oh, that's
goddamn
right. That was kind of fun.
Fix your date. The fuck out of here. Fix your fucking face.
And I'm like, yeah, I don't really know what to make of it. I'm not against it. I'm not for it. I'm more in the realm of like, what the fuck just happened? So then we get a day to think about it. Friday morning, we're in Las Vegas, and I go. She's getting ready in the bathroom. I go get her. I want to talk to you real quick. And I was thinking about Kayla standing next to me, and I can't remember if she was naked or not, but I think she may have been topless. I can't remember.
You
and I just
remember if she was naked or not?
Dude, when we get to all the stories, there's a lot of shit that's just gonna.
Okay.
It's just too much.
Right.
Like he's not sure if it was that time or the next time. You know, like
my RAM is overloaded. I can't process shit right. I really can't. Like shit happens to me now.
And you're up too, right? Like you're on drugs, drinking, all that stuff.
Sure,
Yeah, makes sense.
So I talked to my wife, and we just had a talk about what happened that night, 2 nights ago, and we talk about what we'd like to do, and I'm like, we know their reputation, and I went, I think I'd like to try this. Like,
reputation. Could you
the degenerate that started this was me. I asked the question first.
Was the hedonism stories? Like, was that what the reputation you're talking about?
I didn't know about the hedonism stories. I just knew in general the Ricadas had swinger stories around them.
Okay.
Okay. Like, is this a known thing in Minnesota? Like locally, are they known for swinging, or are you going based off of like
internet lore?
The Kiwi Farms.
Okay.
Mixed it.
Internet lore.
Okay. So you weren't surprised.
Right.
Okay. Can you answer this for just before we go any further on this?
Man.
Do you know if Drexel has had sex with Kayla?
I can tell you. I'll tell you. Kayla has told me no.
Okay.
I trust her on that, and I've never met Drexel. I don't.
You've never met Drexel.
Never met him. He was never at the Ricadas house in the 6 months I was there.
All right. Back to the timeline of you opening things up and how we
So
got here.
April seemed way more gung ho on it than I thought she was.
I hate everybody.
It's just like, all right, cool. That night,
Did that upset you? Did it upset you that she was so easily like open to it?
I feel bad saying no. I want to tell people this. If you're thinking of opening up the sanctity of your marriage, let me tell you something. You're done.
Yeah.
You're done.
Yeah.
You don't want it anymore. You're bored. Whatever. Subconsciously or consciously.
So now he's trying to high road this. He was the one who said, "Oh, she's kind of hot. You know, she got hot." He's trying to high road this, which a lot of people don't like. If you're thinking about opening up the sanctity of your marriage, you're done. You're done. You're the one who started this, dude.
Consciously, you just want to some strange.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And that's what it started out. That's what it started out as. That does not negate the feelings I told you that I developed for Kayla later, everything else. I don't want to disrespect her in that way. But
No, I don't want to be.
There's a couple times he tries to high road it.
April, not like
Where he's like, "Oh, I only did coke like 3 times and Molly like 6 times. So, you know, I was never into this. I got kids and stuff." Yeah, but you were still doing it, right? You never said, "No, I got kids."
orgasming, because she said you never made her
know
orgasm.
where that fucking story came from. Our sex life was fantastic. As everything else was fucking garbage, that was good until the last time.
She made that joke or something that Red Bar started talking about it. Yeah.
I made a joke on air. She's like, "Oh, not every woman comes every time from sex," and that becomes, "Oh, she doesn't come." And it's just like, I'm just like, you motherfucker. Like, she wasn't saying anything.
Never tell Elizabeth she's good again at Tsuko, or I will ban you immediately. She's bad.
Shitty, she wasn't bashing our sex life, but I looked at her and went, you know how the internet's going to take that.
And
right?
you were pissed. Yeah, you were like seething. Yeah.
Well, number one, I'm not saying I'm the greatest that ever lived, but I laid some good dick with this woman, and here she is saying, she doesn't mean anything by it, but I'm like, I think more in terms
not as
of
good as that
what people have
Ricada
to say,
dick.
where she just kind of says shit,
Yeah.
and I'm like, that's why she was so caught off guard. But I was like, what the are you doing? She's like, what? I didn't say anything. So I'm like, no, people are going to take this the wrong way.
Yeah, I could see that. So are you saying, were you pushing more for it to be opened, or was she pushing more for it to be open? So you're saying
my idea.
this
She
was
wants
your
to fuck
idea to
Kayla.
open the relationship?
Yeah, this was my idea.
Okay.
And
but then she was open, and you were like, "That's kind of quick."
She was a little bit too quick, but yeah. And then we're talking to Nick and Kayla on the phone at dinner that night, and it's like, all right. The first thing, actually, Las Vegas was the first red flag I got from this whole thing, because as soon as we text them about this idea that I had, the first thing Nick did was.
So as soon as he just said it, as soon as we text him about this idea that I had.
Do you guys have the Signal app on your phone?
Whoa! What is the Signal app? What is it?
And I'm like, I have no idea what the
Okay.
He goes, it's an encrypted messaging app.
What the fuck?
And I'm like, well, why can't we just text? No. Let's use the Signal app. And I'm like, well, there's nothing illegal about fucking each other's spouse. Like, I mean, we can talk about this like adults, you know? Yeah, it was just weird. So we had to use this Signal app all the time. And I thought, I should have known, like, you're going to realize, I can see holier than thou, Ashton, the wheels turning already, going, these fucking degenerates, the judgment.
No,
You're right.
this is a judgment-free zone.
We've never judged anyone.
Oh, yeah. Really.
No,
It's a judgment.
we have a lunk alarm.
You know what?
Until I hit the end call button.
Listen. Did you make Kayla come when you f***ed her?
Oh, we did very well.
How many times do you estimate that you made Lady Rackets moan your name?
Oh, Jesus.
How many times did you fuck her, do you think?
See, now I was talking to someone before we went on, and they prepped me. They said, Ashton's going to ask some hard-hitting questions.
Oh, yeah, of course he is.
And they prepped me for some of them. One of them was, how many times did you guys have sex? I can't.
It was
Whoa,
countless.
it was just
It
a
was
lot.
dozens of times.
Like I said, I love
Hundreds.
I was obsessed with it. Hundreds? No, not
Maybe
hundreds.
about, like, 800?
In the, like, dozens to 100.
How many times a week?
At first, we always tried to keep it, or not tried to keep it, but it was always more spouses than other spouse. You understand?
Yeah.
So it'd be like a once or twice a week thing. I'd say
Other spouse. Always more spouses than other spouse. Yeah, I've done about every drug you could imagine that was available when I was doing drugs. Like I haven't done like fucking, as far as I know, I haven't done like fentanyl and shit. The stuff that's like new or like Flocka or whatever the fuck they're doing nowadays. But when I was young, every drug that's available, I've done it.
4 or 5 times a week.
Did she suck your?
What are you fucking gay?
Of course.
Yeah,
was
like,
there dirty shit? Like,
I don't know why PPP acts like he's gonna fucking beat his dick after this is over. Wait, did she suck your dick? Did she put her mouth on your pee-pee? They were fucking for over a year. You think she didn't suck his dick? Did she put her mouth on your no-nose? That's so weird.
and shit.
Like that's what you do. What am I, not a gentleman?
Did she spit or swallow?
You know I will tell you this. Listen to me. As a man, and maybe people in the chat will say as a I see getting my sucked as a precursor to the main event. So if I'm getting close, I'm getting my up. I'm like, no, let's get to it. I don't. So that
right.
Was there toys involved at some point too?
Was she good? Was she good at sucking it, or what?
Just a beautiful girl all around. She really is. Just a lovely girl all around. I don't even.
God damn, dude. I don't know that this bothers Nick because he was in this lifestyle, right? He was fucking this man's wife. But god damn, that would fucking make me see red.
Just say, no, look, you guys are giggling and everything. I don't say that as disrespectful.
No, this is a great story.
Like,
the story is
it's amazing. You're like one of the best Howard Stern segments ever. You're just nailing it right now.
Yeah.
You're killing it.
No.
Beautiful girl all around.
Let me just say, into the camera right now, save yourself, sweetheart. You know you're better than this.
Oh, your
you
channel
use
is in the
the
links up there, by the way, everyone. Go sub to him, a steel toe.
Did you ever use the Baldo on Kayla?
I heard the Baldo described one time.
Okay.
Nick,
The Baldo is a device that you stick your balls in and you use your balls to penetrate your partner.
described it, and he tried to sell it.
Shut the fuck up.
No, it's a thing. When your balls become hard, you can
Tell us, please.
No, tell us the time he tried to sell the Baldo.
He was like, no, you don't understand. The Baldo is this thing where it makes your balls hard. You can insert them, and then your can rub against their, and it can actually be very stimulating. I'm like, you know what else is stimulating? The shit out of somebody. You can just someone. You don't have to shove your balls inside them.
So he used the Baldo? He
I
did.
don't know. I cannot confirm.
But he's trying to sell you on it privately, so he for sure did.
Maybe he just believed in the product.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, you just believe very strongly in the product.
In the
Okay.
course of any of this, did you ever see Ricada's wang?
I never. I've seen it flaccid in passing.
Are you bigger than him?
That's very funny, right? Flaccid. There's a video of him describing what a Baldo. Hold on, is. He's describing what. Here it is. The unofficial Baldo review.
The Baldo. It takes it out to you. So the Baldo review is coming at some point. I've got at least one more full-on go with it. We started with no rings, added one ring. The rings are better. The rings are better. So there's a demonstrable.
Yes, PvP is like a 12-year-old.
Just real quick, we won't spend all this time on this. Because like I said, a full review is coming. But, so here you go. This is the Baldo.
Okay, he just showed it there, kinda. There's an opening at the top. See that opening at the top? You would shove your balls down in that opening one at a time, and they come out the little... I'll just have to draw it. I just have to draw it. Okay? So, let's start back with just the black square. So, you would, let's see. It's got an opening at the top. Right? And then if we come down, it's got an opening right there. And then it's penile shaped. And it's got an opening right here and goes around. And so this would be an opening here and an opening here. So it's got an opening on each side. Correct? Correct. So let's color that in. Boop. Okay, there we go. So you would take... You have to take one testicle at a time and take one ball, shove it through this hole, and then it comes out this side. Then you take your other ball, shove it down this hole, and it comes out this side. And then there are rings that you add around to tighten it, to put more pressure so your balls become stiff, like hard, like you're pulling all the slack out of your scrotum. And then you would use that to penetrate some lady labia. Those are not to scale. Got it? Got it? It's not to be confused with the chindo. A chindo is a device that you strap on your chin. It goes behind your head and pulls your shit like this, right? And it would put almost like a reverse unicorn out from your chin to where you can penetrate as well as consume above. That's a chindo. How the fuck would you put your penis in and then your balls in, Atsuko? What fucking backwards ass dick have you been looking at? Will you fold it all up like some goddamn origami? The fuck are you talking about? You make a little paper swan. The rest of your shaft would be out here outside the device. What are you talking about? It would be out here. What is wrong with you? It looks a lot like a Chinese lantern. You ought to be able to figure it out from that.
Baldo. And this number, this is Drexel's, this is unused. But this number you got to do and shove your balls in there. And it's really terrifying that you might snap them shut. And it just, like, these things kind of get in the way. All right? So, no ring, not recommended. Once you put this fucker on, first, this guy goes on, and it goes on way easier. You got to lubricate the inside of this thing, all right? And you got to lubricate your ball sack. But then you pop this thing open, drop the boys in, and then this thing goes right up to the top, all right? This thing goes on real fucking easy once that's all contained. Way, way better once you got one ring on. Now, I can't tell you about 2 rings, but 2 rings is going to be, we'll see. Might have to wait a couple days. Oh, but that's the weird thing about it. You have to put it on while you are completely unaroused. You have to put it on while you're completely unaroused. If you try and put that thing on while you have an erection, it will not fucking work. Guys, you know about this. What's my affiliate link? I don't have one yet. I've got to respond to their email. But anyway, so I'm thinking 2 rings will be great. Let me be clear, though. No rings was awesome. 1 ring was awesome. I'll let you know about 2 rings. I did not hit the ballgasm yet. Still looking for that one. Maiden says, what about the dick? Oh, okay. It's a little graphic. But you'd read the same thing on the website, but it's true. It, once you get going, that thing takes off. And, it lays on top of your lady bits. Like this. And sometimes like this. You will enjoy it.
At least his dumbass audience didn't say, but your penis goes in first, right?
How does it not slide off your balls as soon as you pull? Trust me, it ain't fucking going anywhere. But anyway, it's yeah, more experience necessary, and eventually I'll do a full review. What she had to say about the Baldo was, at first she said, "Damn," and then second she said, "I very much enjoyed it." So.
There you go. The Baldo. That was from one of his live streams.
I will say this. I will say it's close. I don't think I've seen it like firm, so I don't know.
Flaccid and passing where? Walking out of the hot tub, through the kitchen after fuck? Like what? Describe to me.
It would be kitchen after
Oh, what kitchen after fucking? I was right. Second guess, Ash.
What would you get from the fridge?
Here's what I remember. Here's what I remember about her.
What's the first point of the meal?
I'll answer the question like this. I remember one of the girls, I can't remember which one it was, when we walked in the kitchen, we didn't know each other were there. And one of the girls said, she goes, both of my guys have great And I was like, thank you.
Wow.
Both of my guys have great dicks.
That was April who said that, actually.
Wow. So did he use the Baldo on April, you think?
I don't know. I didn't want to know. I didn't fucking care. I was with my sweet Kayla.
Wow. So do you feel like straight up the love was reversed between you and Nick and April and Kayla? So like, did he fall more in love with April than he did with Kayla? Like,
yes, 100%.
So it was like a full on.
I'm not sitting here going, Kayla and I were so in love and those two hated each other. They kind of,
it's like switched almost.
They kind of fought and tipped with each other more than Kayla and I did. But I think the feeling was there, you know, like it was with Kayla and I. I think both of us, I think all of us were tired of the other person. I know April was tired of my nagging about drugs. I know that Nick and Kayla had been unhappy for a long time. And I was
Did
really,
Kayla express any of the reasons why she was unhappy in the marriage to you?
She feels like Nick gaslights her. She feels like Nick, when she has a concern, Nick has a habit of turning it around and making it look like she's doing something wrong, to the point where she gets very frustrated. And like, Nick's not he's don't get me wrong, but he's not a dumb guy, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
No. Like, he makes some of the dumbest fucking decisions and says some of the stupidest shit of any human being I've ever fucking met in my life, and it's infuriating, but he's intelligent, if that makes sense. So like with someone like Kayla, if he can be domineering over someone and he can overtalk them, they can kind of convince someone who's not as convicted as he is that they're in the wrong and he's in the right. And that would happen with Kayla a lot.
Yeah, he's smart. He's smart at setting up the gaslight. Like
Can you like point to an example? Like, did you ever see this happen in real life?
Should we do the fix her story? So the fix her story. You guys got time, right?
Yeah, we got all the time in the world for you, bud.
All you.
So the fix her story. Nick and Kayla are screaming at each other in the bathroom.
Okay.
And I think I'm in the bedroom. I don't know where April is.
This right here is kind of fucked up, I think. Very fucked up, I would say.
During the fix her story. I think April and I were in the bedroom. April and I were in the bed. Nick and Kayla were fighting. There was always drama. I always described the relationship between the four of us as we went from disaster to disaster, drama to drama. It was an intensely frustrating, stressful place to be. And I think it's because 3 people were on coke and one of them most of the time wasn't. And that's a frustrating spot to be for me. So Nick and Kayla are shouting, screaming at each other. I mean, frighteningly. They would have these knockdown drag-outs. I mean, just nasty fights. Some of them would end with Nick walking around hitting himself in the head like a fucking ape. This one in specific, Nick and Kayla are yelling at each other. Nick comes storming out of the bathroom. I hear Kayla crying. Nick points at me. This really upset me. Nick pointed at me and he goes, "Go in there and fix her."
What did he mean?
So he was fighting with his own wife and went and got the guy that's fucking his wife and said, "Go in there and fix her." Like, it's beyond me. You know her better than me. Go in there and fix her.
I don't know. Go in there and fix her. Whoa. So I go in there and she's on the floor crying, basically in a ball crying. And I comfort her and I talk to her a little bit. And it's just, I mean, I don't know the specific conversation because these all run into each other. A variation on, you know, he's gaslighting me. I'm so frustrated. Nobody understands me. Nobody can see me. Nobody can hear me. That's how we got close. Is one of the things she would always say to me. And I would say to her, she would look at me as she wouldn't want to talk about what was wrong. And I would start going, well, is it this? Is it, I understand maybe you feel this way, blah, blah. And she would look at me with tears in her eyes. She would go, you speak my thoughts. And that would touch me. That really, like, I'm not, like, you guys are going to find, I'm not some fucking monster who's here to just rat people out.
Oh, obviously.
This touched me. This meant something.
Yeah.
So in the fix her thing, I go in there, I talk to her, and it's just they're fighting. And then Nick comes back in, and they start yelling at each other again. Now I'm in between the two of them. This is remarkably uncomfortable. I'm not high. They're high, or at least he's high. And they just start fighting. Literally, I'm in between the two of them. Kayla leaves. Nick pours out the 2 biggest fucking rails of coke I've ever seen in my life. And granted, I haven't seen that much, but bigger than what they usually get. And just rips them back to back. To the point, well, he and I were still friends at this point. Literally stopped, put my hand on his shoulder. I said, buddy, are you sure that's okay? Because he had just done some before that. I said, buddy, are you sure that's all right? I don't want your fucking heart to explode in the fucking bathroom here. Nick always had this way of WebMDing his shit to explain it away. He would go, no, well, what you don't understand is no matter how much I'm doing right now, it doesn't get me more high. It takes time for it to process and come down. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a stimulant supercharging the out of your heart and you dropping dead. Like, no, it's fine.
Was he actually showing you shit online? Was he actually showing you stuff online?
He had an encyclopedia of bullshit.
So I already looked at this up. I searched this already.
One time I asked him, because this was late. This was probably a week or two before I bailed. I confronted him. I said, dude, I know her and I aren't on the best of terms right now. This is when she was out. I was ready to file, like, just about over. Like, April and I crossed the Rubicon already. There was no going back. But I did still care. And I'm like, dude, she's doing a lot. It's like every day. And you guys are drinking a lot. Like, even Kayla came to me once and she said, Aaron, you need to talk to Nick or April because our liquor bottles are disappearing very quickly around this house. So, talk about it. I talked to Nick. I go, and I didn't really want to talk about the booze. I was more concerned about the coke. That's what scared the shit out of me. And I said, the cocaine use, dude. Let's talk about it because it's not good. We need to cut back on that shit a little bit. And he gave me this reason. He said, well, Aaron, what you don't understand is understand how, like, people with ADHD, the stimulants they take allow them to pay attention better because their attention span goes up like this with the stimulant. It meets their demand for the, So he says about cocaine, he goes, well, Aaron, you see, sometimes our minds can only handle this much stress. But we have this much stress. So when I do cocaine, it elevates my body's ability to deal with stress to here, so I can then deal with the stress I face. And I remember just going to him, I go, that's total bullshit.
What was the stress? What was the stress that what was he mentioning? Like, what was the stress?
Andy,
the kids
you don't understand is this man was streaming at that point 1 or 2 days a week.
Okay.
He had a trust fund.
Yeah.
And that's very stressful.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man, life's tough, bud. Life's tough.
There were some times with Nick where, as the son of a fucking baker and a lunch lady, I was like, you entitled like, just fucking man up and handle your shit.
Yeah. Like, so I gotta ask,
so he's trust fund baby.
What, because you were there a lot or a fair amount. What is like a day in the life of Rekieta? Like, is he mostly high, like, all the time?
I can tell you what I saw from time to time. Again, everything I'm telling you, I don't want to get into speculation. Everything I'm going to tell
whatever you saw.
Firsthand, yeah.
Amazing, thanks.
While I too, again, let's remember, while I too was being a degenerate, going outside of his marriage, scandalizing his relationship, scandalizing his children, all of these terrible things, being a bad father, being a bad husband. But a day in the life was this. I would get up. I'm an early riser. I do a morning show. I would get up on a weekend, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. And I would just sit and stare at 3 passed out people.
Oh,
that's it. I
would just go, all right, what are we going to do? I go take a shower or something. We kill some time. And then I kind of wake everybody up like, hey, can I go get breakfast? I remember one common thing with this relationship was that I was the one who was always going, hey, can we go do some shit? Hey, can I go get this? Can I go to...
You fed the kids, right? You fed
them to get out of the fucking house and do some shit.
Wait, where were the kids during all this, by the way?
Feeding his kids.
But they would still come and knock on the bedroom door.
Whoa.
By the way, we slept 4 of us to a bed.
What the?
Like, we all slept in the same bed. I would sleep with Kayla. Nick would sleep.
What? And the kids knock on the door to wake you all up? I told you, this is fucking wild, dude. If you don't like some good old-fashioned cokehead thruple YouTube drama, who the fuck? Get out. Get out of here! And please consider going over to coldbeer.fund instead and supporting the show. The show is basically collapsing financially.
Sleep with April.
Okay,
so that was the sleeping arrangement.
That was the sleeping arrangement. Was April and I on the ends, Nick over by April, Kayla over by me. So sometimes in the morning, the kids would knock on the door and say either I'm hungry or this or that. I would say more times than not, I would go out and I would get them some food, something like that, because everyone else got up a little later than I did. And there would be times where there would be fighting in the
bedroom, his kids,
or people were doing whatever they were doing in the bathroom, and someone would want something, and I would, more often than not, it was usually me who went and got it. I was just not into, like I said on my show, I did coke 3, maybe 4 times in total the entire time. Probably 4 bumps in total the whole time I was there. I did develop an affinity for Molly. It just seemed I wouldn't drink.
Pills
and I would,
or powder?
I hate powder. I hate. One time they had me do the licking thing.
The licking thing, yeah. You want to control it.
Yeah, I had Nick use papers and wrap it in like pill form, and I would take it that way. I preferred it that way. And what I would do is I just wouldn't drink that water and Gatorade, and I would chill because everything was so dramatic and everything else. I would have fun. I would enjoy myself.
Yeah.
But I'd still realize, holy shit, dude, you're 37 years old and you're a father of 3. Cut the fucking shit. So after about half a dozen times of that, done with that too.
So let me ask you, what was the general sense, do you think, of how aware the kids were that their parents were on drugs all the time?
It doesn't really matter. That's all he did. He brought his kids in this lifestyle. They would come over. He would go over there because he used to say, like, he says at one point, like, I only have 50% custody of my kids, so it's real easy for us to meet up. But then one of his excuses why he stopped going is because his kids didn't want to be over there anymore. Which one is it? He put his kids in that situation. He was still doing it. I don't think he can high road anybody at this point. He's just lucky that the bust didn't happen, a couple months earlier. He'd have been there with them.
I don't think they knew.
Really?
I don't.
How about the sense of 2 people? There's a new couple in the bedroom sleeping with them. Like no one, even the high school kid wasn't like, what the fuck is going on there?
That I can definitely. I would say if I'm just putting myself in their shoes, they're thinking that's fucking goofy.
Yeah.
You know, like that's a little.
No 16-year-old kid sees mom and dad in the bed with another man and woman and thinks, wow, those goofballs. Those goofy goobers. They're having a sleepover. Goofs. The fuck out of here. They're thinking, why the fuck is my dad probably banging somebody else's dad and mom?
How old was the oldest?
If my kids knocked on our bedroom door and opened the door and there was another couple with me and Mariah in the bed, Liam would probably literally say, what the fuck? Oh, you guys being goofy? You being goofy back here? You just goofing?
How old was the oldest one?
Am I telling any tales out of school here? If I
No,
Exactly. Get sitters. So we've been having an issue at the campground. I don't know if anybody watched this that lives with us. We're having an issue at the campground. So it's been piss poor in the rain. There is a measurement of the flow they do at the river. And basically the way the river flow works and they measure it is back in like the 80s, they wouldn't let you go out on like rafting on the river. It was a safety issue if it was more than like 3.3 feet above normal, above average or whatever. The highest it's ever been is like 4.5 feet above median average, whatever they call it. So it was like at 3.8 today, which is 0.5 higher than you're allowed to even raft on it. So I went to take some firewood to a camping spot down on the river, and there is like an 11-year-old and like an 8-year-old girl in the river that are people there that live at the campground. And I'm like, whoa, you guys be careful. Like the river's way up, no parents, nobody else there, just me, only me. I'm the only one on the whole riverfront, and there's 2 little girls swimming in there. I was like, hey, be careful. Like, the river is way up. This could be really dangerous. They just fucking stared at me. And I know their parents. Their parents were probably 40 yards away on the other side of a house on the porch, drinking and smoking or whatever. Like, facing away from the river. They couldn't even see their kids from there. Not to mention, it was so muddy from the rain. You couldn't, once they went under, you couldn't see them anyways. Like, looking at them, all you could see is their head. You couldn't see their arms or nothing that was under the water. It's so muddy. So later on, they get spotted somewhere else in the river by someone else, and that someone else goes and talks to them. This is also after that 11-year-old, I think she's 11 or 12. She's probably 11. That 11-year-old was allowed to take a 7 and an 8-year-old yesterday, river's still up because of rain, yesterday, rafting down the river, and the 11-year-old is the person in charge of the fucking boat, of the raft. Like, just the craziest thing. I got on Mariah. Like, oh, shit. Shit. My chair just broke. Hold on. I leaned the wrong way on the leg. Give me just a second. Oh, shit. It's been breaking the whole fucking time, you piece of shit. Damn it, I think I fucking killed it.
Number 2 just resubscribed for
I might have to order another one.
Ocho, oh no, billiards.
Oh, it's good. It's just that same leg that's already been breaking. It's the same leg that's already broke. Anyways, the 11-year-old was allowed to take a 6 and a 7-year-old down a rafting trip. Now, apparently their dad was on a different raft, like following them down, but still, like if you get 10 yards between you and one of the kids goes overboard, good luck fucking finding them, especially the river up. Like, that's crazy. It's insane. I don't know. But anyways, the other person talked to him, and one of them was like, you're right, I'm sorry. You know, it'll never happen again. And the other parent was like, blah, blah, blah. I just checked on them, and they know how to swim. I don't give a damn. An 11-year-old, I don't care how good they can fucking swim. I don't give a fuck how good they can swim. It's just too much. It's too much. And not to mention that she's there with like a 7 or 8-year-old. What are you fucking talking about? That was crazy. So I got onto Mariah the other day because Mariah sometimes lets our boys go with their kids and their parents. Not without the parents, but usually the parents are there. But it doesn't matter because they don't give a fuck about their kids. I guarantee you they don't give a fuck about. I said this in the office in front of some of the parents the other day. I was like, hell no, I'm going to get them right now. Which luckily they didn't make it to where they were going. Our boys are just standing outside. But I was like, they get fucked up and lose their own kids. What makes you think they give a fuck about my kids? Like if you're not going to be there when your kids are doing shit, why the fuck would I think that you can watch my kids? Because they're already secondary to your kids, right? That's just natural. But if you're not even doing anything for your fucking kids, what the fuck are you doing for my kids? So I flipped out, and when some of the people got mad at me, but like I give a fuck. What are they going to do? Not speak to me? Thank God. Threaten me with a good time. But there's no fucking way. They like to... And again... Drink and smoke and party all you want. I don't even care about that shit. But your kids should be in bed. Or they should have a sitter or somebody that's sober watching them or something, right? Especially not in the river. Like, I might get in the river. The way the river's at right now, I might wade in the river if I really wanted to swim. But I wouldn't even take my own kid with me, like holding on to them and being with them. Much less a kid by themselves. I don't know. It's crazy.
Kid was 16, right?
Okay. So he knows something's happening. Like,
yeah.
Like you're 16, your parents.
Every single one of those 5 kids, angels. Every single one of them, great kids.
Okay, yeah.
But they had to know. I mean,
it was, I
you're
guess,
16, your parents are sleeping.
The chair, one of the legs, it's the leg that is, so I guess for packaging purposes, to be able to ship it in a smaller box, there's one leg that bends. And it's like a weak point. And that was what the review said, too, was like, oh, I had it for like a year and a half or 2 years or whatever. And the one bendy leg, it's only supposed to bend one way. Like it should only bend down. So when you're sitting in it, it should be stopped to where it can't bend unless you flip it over and bend it up. But what happens is that joint wears out. It's like, I don't know. But anyways, it broke another piece of it off the way I was leaning on it, I guess. I got to buy a new chair.
Daily and
strangers. Let me ask you this. How were you introduced to the kids? Is it like this is Uncle Aaron and Auntie April?
Mr. Aaron and Mrs. April.
Right. And that was like, what was the official story as to why you were around all the time?
Friends, just really good friends.
Right. Okay. Were there any
really good friends that sleep over in our beds?
Other friends that would come around, or were you the only ones in this arrangement at this time?
No.
Do you know if anybody?
I told the owner, like I don't have nothing against these people, but I told the owner of the campground I would rather them be gone than the liability that they're on our property and not going to watch their fucking kids in the goddamn river. Or watch their kids. These kids basically run wild all goddamn weekend. And half the only time I ever saw their parents doing anything for the kids was like, hey, has anybody seen my kid? And then going to find it. They didn't even know where the fuck they were at. And there was like hundreds of people there this weekend. It's packed. There's a concert going on. The other campground was packed. And the only time I saw them was like, hey, has anybody seen so-and-so? Like, shouldn't you fucking, you're the parent, shouldn't you know where they're at?
Hey, maybe that's what Nick meant by aggressively monogamous.
Mm-hmm. Do you know if he had done this with any other couples? Did he tell you, like, don't worry, we've done this with somebody else before?
This is a really funny story. One time we were at my house, and I only have my kids 50% of the time, so it was easy.
I'm gonna have to grab my backup chair. Actually, you guys watch this. I'm gonna grab my backup chair and swap this one out. I'm not gonna keep sitting in it, and then the leg break completely off while I'm leaning on it.
To our house when there were no kids, and that was important to me. We'll get into it later.
Yeah.
With the couch story. But as far as the swinging experience and this and that, Nick and Kayla sat April and I down probably about a month and a half, 2 months into what we were doing, and they went, guys, we feel terrible. Feel like we've lied to you. Mm-hmm. We have a little more experience with this than we let on. And they talked about some of their experiences in Jamaica and this and that and some other things, and we're like, April and I are looking at each other and we go, yeah, we've read the internet. We kind of know this. It was really weird because April and I were like, yeah,
Can you get into some of the details of what exactly he said when he sat you down for this?
He did tell me a story about he and Kayla were excited to get into it with other couples. But unfortunately, because of his consumption of cocaine and Molly,
he was soft.
Kayla was able to perform. Nick was not.
So,
and that was a very traumatic experience.
Oh, no.
And this was with a black couple.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Most likely?
This is all
Was this at hedonism or is this
yeah,
a different?
this was the resort. Yeah.
Wait,
Not
so you're
hedonism.
telling me some guy is banging in April and Kayla?
No. He's banging. So
Oh, so Kayla, sorry. His wife, like the gentleman's wife, and Kayla. Sorry, not
There's
April.
a gentleman balls deep in Rakata's wife.
And his,
Rakata tries to get into the other guy's wife,
but he can't. So then both women have to go on
what
the.
happened? Did he get laughed at in that circumstance?
No,
You know,
I remember
like,
him.
what was
I will
the
say
shame?
this. I will say this, guys. And look, I don't like the guy. As I look back on my time with him, it's worse because I think there was a lot of manipulation and shit going on. But I will say this. He did say it was a genuinely traumatic experience for him. And of all
This
the things
chair
I'm going to talk
sucks.
about
It's
tonight,
like
I really
super
feel
uncomfortable. It
really
hurts my
bad for
back,
him.
but at least it's not broken.
Know if he tried to use the baldo after he was limp, or
I don't know.
because maybe this is why speculation is like maybe like this is why he would use the baldo, as he had a recurring issue of being soft.
I can only speak to a couple times where I've.
Did you see him personally fail to perform and be soft with April?
You did.
You did.
One time.
Whoa.
Can you,
Now wait a minute.
Can you tell us?
I'm not
One time he failed to perform. This is some juicy shit, dude.
saying there were not times, especially at the
About
beginning
the YouTube blogger Nikki Rackets.
for me. I will say I will cop to this personally, where it's a weird thing, it's a weird sexual thing you're into, and there will be some performance anxiety.
Right.
And you need a little help. I will admit that happened to me a couple of times. 100%.
Was he popping like Cialis or
Viagra?
was it Cialis or Viagra and stuff?
Once in a great while. I will say again, because at the very beginning, I was like, I'm really anxious about this shit. I just want to make sure that if I have any problems, I've got an in case of emergency break glass. And I purchased some things. He already had them.
He already had.
He already
has
has
a known issue.
And I think when you do cocaine, you gotta have that back.
Yeah, whiskey and shit. Yeah, whiskey dick. Yeah. Okay.
So there was it's probably one of my favorite moments with the beautiful Kayla Rakata. We were at our home, of course, no kids. And we had gone out that night. We came back, and Kayla and I, we were upstairs in my bedroom. And this was such a high schooler, fucking gay, and romantic, queer thing that happened. We would have sex, and then we'd run out. It was February. It was wintertime in Minnesota. We'd run out onto my deck. We were very hot. We were very warm. And we would run out into the snow, jump into the snow, make a snow angel, and run back inside. It was
What? You had sex, snow angels?
just this funny gay thing that we did. Laugh. Go ahead and laugh.
No,
Laugh.
it's
gay.
amazing. So you and her, it was so romantic. You guys are doing
Lovely.
snow angels together in the yard.
And then April-
Isn't that nice?
I said a story like this like fucking a few months ago when I was drunk. I did that before, so don't worry. It's all
We
good.
do that. That's not the fun part of the story. The fun part of the story comes when April comes upstairs. As Kayla and I are making all kinds of noise and making snow angels and just being complete homos. April comes upstairs and she goes, guys, Aaron, I go, yeah? Do you have anything for Nick? We're having problems.
Ooh.
That must have felt
Ooh.
for you.
No, I will tell
Ooh.
you, Ashton, dude, I felt like shit.
No, you didn't.
I really did.
It almost sounds like he was at the point where he hated his wife and he wanted Nick's wife, though. Like, this could definitely be turned around that he's just saying this because he wanted Nick's wife, basically.
At
You
that
did?
time,
Okay.
now I think it's fucking awesome. Like,
Fair. You're
it's also like,
"Oh,
but it's also like there, but for the grace of God, go I. Like I know early on when we started, I needed a little help because it was degenerate and uncomfortable and anxious. I was anxious, but so on and so forth. But this was well into things. I mean, this was just a guy probably drank too much and did a little too much. And I go, I mean, yeah, here you go. And then it turns out nothing ever happened that evening. Meanwhile, Kayla and I are just going to town. I think we made 2 or 3 snow angels that evening, and oof, that's a rough one.
All right. Wait.
Oh, let's go.
That's
Now,
fucking sad.
I want to ask you. So,
By the way, sweetheart, baby, get out of that house. Save yourself.
save yourself, April.
No, not April. Not April.
Oh, fuck April.
means
Oh,
Kayla.
you, Kayla. Is Kayla welcome to come live with you?
Jesus Christ! I can't have a bunch of cokeheads with my f***ing kids around.
If she
Yeah,
gets
wow.
clean, if Miss Rakata gets clean and she wants you,
Yeah,
I
is
have
she
offered-
welcome?
When Kayla would break down and tell me she wanted this to be done, she wanted this to be over, I told her numerous times, I will take you to groups, I will take you wherever you want to go. Dude,
You want to help her? Yeah.
I don't want to get choked up on a fucking stream, but I have survivor's guilt from running out of a burning building and I couldn't pull anybody out. Like I tried. I wanted to pull my wife out at first, but every time I would confront her on cocaine use, it was just this vitriol of, you're a monster, you're a piece of shit, you're evil, you're a bad guy, and you just want to, like this invective would come at me to the point where, like I said, I gravitated to Kayla because I'm like, this person is showing me affection and understanding, and she wants help, and she thinks I'm good, and I think she's good, and in all of these things, I get lost in conversation with this woman. So when Kayla would tell me that she wanted to get out, I would say, I'll do whatever it takes. I'll help you. I'll bring you to a facility. I'll do whatever you need to do. Her biggest thing, and this is such a tragedy now, considering what happened, she said, I can't leave my kids. I remember telling her at one point, I said, imagine
You're gonna
you
lose them
left your
fucking
60 days.
kids.
You left your kids for 30
Exactly
days.
what's
That's
gonna
better than
happen.
you've ever been. I think that's better for your children. Her own desire to
She
be a
should have
mom
went to fucking rehab when somebody pointed it out.
stood in her way of getting the help.
This is just an excuse, by the way. I would never say that, oh, it's because she wants to be such a good parent. No, she wants to do cocaine. Because if she wanted to be a good parent, she would clean her shit up or quit cold turkey and stay with her fucking kids. She wouldn't need rehab, right? She would just stop. She would get them out of that fucking environment. She'd clean the goddamn house. She would get her kids the fuck away from it. or she needs rehab, she would make that step and make arrangement for her kids. Like if she thought she couldn't do it on her own, make the arrangement, go do your shit, get your fucking kids out of there. Before you go to rehab, get them to your mom or to a babysitter or to a place or a family member or someone you can pay something. They have money. Money is a lot of times a limiting factor with like rehab or child care or whatever. They have money. So don't tell me she's a good mom. So she didn't want to leave her kids to go to rehab because she's just such a good mom. A good mom wouldn't have them in a fucking coke house.
She wanted. I think she.
May I ask one question? Okay, so if say she did leave for 30 days, right? Who would have watched the kids? Surely it wouldn't be Nick himself.
Sorry, it pissed me off.
When their nanny quit on.
Oh, the nanny quit on that.
Tell us the story of the nanny quit.
Oh, we don't know about the nanny quitting?
No, we don't.
No.
We bought $3,000 worth of snacks a week. It was that one, right?
Yeah, I heard those stories.
Okay, let's hear it.
They did have good snacks.
I bet.
Fair enough.
Good snacks in that house.
The Joe Louis.
No, and the SpaghettiOs were top shelf. I'd make a little. I'd go 2 for you, 1 for me. You know.
So there's a big internet meme about him making SpaghettiOs for Nick Rekieta's kids because they don't take care of him because they were so fucked up and fucking his wife, and he would go make SpaghettiOs for the kids.
But no, the nanny was, I think, fucking tired of it. Couldn't do it. Actually, no, I remember Kayla sent me a message because she had to sit down with the nanny. The nanny left.
This right here is a red flag for me. So he says, oh, the nanny, I think she was tired of it. Couldn't do it anymore. Oh, no, I remember now. Kayla sent me a message that said the exact same thing I just told you.
No, and the SpaghettiOs were top shelf.
This is a red flag for me.
I'd make a little. I'd go 2 for you, 1 for me. You know, but no, the nanny was, I think, fucking tired of it. Couldn't do it. Actually, no, I remember Kayla sent me a message.
Now I remember.
Sit down with the nanny. The nanny left, and then a few weeks later, I left.
Weird.
And Kayla finally had to sit down with the nanny to ask her why she left. And Kayla was feeling very sorry for herself, and she messaged me, and she said, well, I guess, I won't say the nanny's name, but she goes, I guess the nanny is the same way you are. She said she just couldn't do it anymore. So I'm guessing the nanny kind of knew something was up because I was there a lot. April was there a lot, and we go right back into the bedroom to hang out. And so I'm sure.
So I guess maybe this is my hot take that fucking Miss Priss is going to cancel me for. I understand some people having a nanny or somebody clean their house like a maid or something like that. I understand that when they're busy and they're working and it's a stressful day and running and doing and whatever. What I do not understand, it just makes me think you don't like your fucking kids or your life or whatever, is when you have a nanny and you're in the house all day because you don't have a fucking job. Like, it's one thing to be like, okay, I'm going to call the cleaning service to help them get me so I can get ahead on spring cleaning. Or so we can go through storage. I'm going to invite a friend over or pay somebody. But if you don't have a fucking job, your house is a fucking wreck, and you have a nanny to take care of your kids all day, do you just not like your kids? Because it seems like you're already there. Your kids are already there. It seems like that's almost like a match that's supposed to go together.
She thought that was fucking weird.
But if you're working, running, doing your thing, and you got a nanny, no big deal, right? There's a lot of people that are just busy. They would rather have a nanny than they'd have daycare or whatever. Or like you got a maid that comes in and cleans or whatever. But if you're not doing anything, you don't clean, you don't cook, you don't watch the kids, you don't work. What the fuck are you doing? Coke.
She's sitting there running the kids around doing all this shit. I'm sure she's a little resentful that there's these 2 other people in the house. We're just hanging out in the bedroom.
How old was the nanny?
Early.
He even says it. He says she's probably resentful. There's 2 other adults there. So the parents plus 2 other adults, and we're all just hanging out in the bedroom fucking and doing coke. And she's there nannying the kids.
Okay.
She's cute, too.
Did you notice a difference in the cleanliness of the home after the nanny or maid?
No, the nanny didn't really get into the cleanliness.
Sorry, Miss Press, if that makes you mad. I know how you're sensitive about your nanny and your chauffeur.
The nanny's full-time job was just like running the kids around and getting groceries and shit because when you stream once a week, you're too fucking busy to have your kids.
If I had someone else that took care of my kids, like even when I'm here, like I run all the time and do stuff for the kids, or I'm getting stuff or earning money to buy for stuff, and then when I'm home, I'm with them and talk to them and cook meals for them and do whatever I can, I would feel so distant from my kids. Like if they had a nanny that takes care of them, what is your, like Ethan Klein and his wife from H3H3, they have a live-in nanny maid person, and all they do is record podcasts for like an hour a day. Like they have a producer, they have everything. The show's all set up. They show up at the studio, they record a podcast for an hour, they leave a day, but their kids are raised by the nanny. But I would feel so disconnected from my kids. It's almost like it's someone else's kids that you just see. It'd be like if your brother-in-law and sister had kids and you just kind of rented a room from them or something. Even then, I think you might be more hands-on with them.
Kids around.
Exactly. So we got to ask about this because it was in the police report that it was a dirty home. There were clothes
police
everywhere.
report is a fucking lie. That house is so much fucking dirtier than that goddamn police report said. Those cops went easy on them. I'm sorry.
Tell us.
Yeah.
You walk into that house. First of all, their observation dust everywhere, 100%. I remember sweeping. I would sweep the floors. I probably swept the floors 2 or 3
You were a
times.
Janny at that.
This is wild. That guy was fucking your wife and you were cleaning his house.
A literal Janny.
Here's my thing, guys. I didn't want to sit in that fucking bedroom and bathroom all fucking day. I went out and did housework to keep myself fucking busy and see that the kids were all right.
Fair enough, yeah.
I would go out, and I also had a couple of missions. I'll talk about those in a second. But I would sweep the floors. Dusty as I mean, dusty roads, baby. I mean, it was bad. And then you'd go to the kitchen island, the counter area, just filled with papers and shit. You can't put anything on it. Then you go to the dining room table. And before I got there, I was so proud of this. I started referring to it as my table. Their dining room table was full of just papers and toys and all kinds of garbage and shit. And to me, like, I'm an old school, I was raised old school Americana, like the dinner table, that's where you all gather and everything else. And I'm like, well, let's get these kids somewhere to sit and eat and everything else. So I got the kids together one day, and Kayla came out for this too. One thing I was really proud of Kayla on, when I would have projects with the kids to clean stuff up, Kayla would come out and join and be a part of it. And I really thought at one point, I'm like, I'm gonna pull this woman out of this shit. I really am. I'm gonna help. And it's just, there was always a tractor beam back to Nick and the drugs and all that would just pull her back, unfortunately. But with the table, I got all the kids together. And we cleaned off that table. I mean, we cleaned off what was garbage. What went to this kid's room. I made individual piles for the kids of their stuff, and they took it down to their rooms. And we get towels and with soap and water. We'd wash the table off, and we swept the floor around the table. And we got it clean. It was great. And I got the kids dilly bars for helping out cleaning.
Wow.
And this was a very foreign concept to them.
Wow.
Because they don't do any chores or anything.
Sure.
So you help them turn the crack house into a crack home, basically.
Yeah, I know. Here's Mr. Nobility. It's like, hey, everyone's building in the back room, asshole. Good point. You're right, Ashton. But then the sink was always just full of fucking dishes and never done. So I would always, when I would come over after my show or whatever, I would just start going to work on the dishwasher and the sink and trying to keep that thing empty. And you know what the number one thing I always ended up putting in it? You know what that dishwasher was?
So he sort of kind of lived there as well at the same time.
Full of what? Just go ahead. Give it your best. What kind of
Yes, he constantly is trying to make Kayla the victim. Like even the rehab, you know why she wouldn't go to rehab? And it's really sad what kept her from going. She is such a great mother. She didn't want to leave her kids. She just couldn't do it.
Was it sex toys?
All right, you went a little deeper than I thought. Whiskey glasses.
Okay. I was thinking there was so much sex toys.
So
There's
he had
dildos.
to make sure the whiskey glasses were clean. But as for the kitchen table, his kids ate at, or the floors that they walked on.
No, I still washed the whiskey glasses. I mean, those were.
No, I'm saying, but that was the priority.
Yeah.
The priority was the whiskey glasses, not a safe space for his kids.
I mean,
God forbid Lord Baldo drink out of a dirty glass, but go on.
And then the laundry situation. This was the biggest crime the police committed, was understating the laundry situation. There was dirty laundry from the laundry room in the middle of the hallway, out the door, around the corner, down the hallway, into the kitchen.
Dirty laundry from the laundry room to the kitchen
area. There were dirty clothes. There were clean clothes in the living room, all over the furniture, all over the floor. They would be getting ready to take the kids to dance or something, and they'd be pulling out, like looking for tights and pulling in the living room for clothing. And you couldn't have company over at this house because where would you have them sit down? The carpets were disgusting, never cleaned, never vacuumed, anything like that. I vacuumed their upstairs carpets once. It was an exercise in futility. I never did it again.
Tell us why. Why was it an exercise in futility with the carpet?
Because there were stains in it. It was so dirty.
It's like daily though. It was just like can you vacuum it next day or 2 days later?
No, it was more like the damage has been done.
Oh wow, so it's that bad. That bad. Okay.
And here's the saddest part. Beautiful.
It's so someone said not making excuses for him, but they have 5 kids. Well, first of all, one's 16 and drives. So they have 4 kids. Second of all, it's very, very rare that a sports system you'd have to be at 4 places at once. Not to mention, it wasn't the problem they couldn't be at 4 places at once. He just said she quit because all 4 adults were fucking in the bedroom while the nanny was there.
Beautiful home. Anybody who worked for their money and actually valued what they had would thank Christ every day that they had this home. And this one was just treated like fucking shit.
Yeah. How about the mold? Was there mold? Did you see mold?
It's because he didn't pay for it, right? He used his goddamn 16-year-old boy laundry reeks, I'm sure. His trust fund bought his home, right? He's never had to worry about anything. He's got money in the bank, basically. So he doesn't give a fuck about his home.
See mold.
Oh, because the police said that there was mold in it.
And I'm sure it's an extremely nice house. I didn't look up the address. I guess we could, but I'm sure it's an extremely nice house.
Okay. Which is kind of fucking,
I'll take their word for it. They found cocaine. I'm sure they're not lying about that. That'd be funny. That's something Ricada would defend too. Like, look, guys, there was no mold in the house. That's horseshit. I mean, that's the whole thing. I mean,
yeah. Wow. Okay.
Remember, well, Ricada actually would justify licking the bottle because he didn't want to get the carpet dirty. I guess that was a lie too, eh? Why do you think he licked the bottle?
Guy.
Why do you think he licked the bottle?
Because he's a hopeless alcoholic. Kayla would cry about this.
Really? Tell us about that.
We were down in the studio once, and Kayla was sharing with me a theory that she had. She said, Aaron, I swear to God, I think this whole thing was put together so Nick and April could be together. I think they set this up. so that the two of them could be together. And she got me kind of thinking it. But like, again, I didn't mind because now my wife had gotten on coke, and Kayla was being the sweetest woman in the world. So I was like, you know, at one point I was just like, I got the better end of this deal. I'm happy, you know. And but she was in the studio one night, and her and I were talking, and she was on her knees, and she picks up 2 bottles, and she slams one of them down, and she goes, "He's a fucking alcoholic. I swear to God." And she just kind of broke down for a little bit. And we just had this conversation about, like, can we get him help? Can we do anything? He doesn't think he has a problem. He fucking drinks all the goddamn time. There would be times where we get really tense where Nick would come in with a drink, and Kayla would say something like, "Nick, it's 10:30 in the morning." And Nick would go,
yeah,
I'm sitting between the two of them, and I'm like, oh, this is like a kid whose parents are about to fight, and I'm just like, oh, I have a tummy ache.
Oh, it is a pretty nice house.
So there are some people who are skeptical of your stories, right? Sure. So like, you know, there's a guy, I don't even know who he is, Melton.
Patrick Melton, yes.
Okay, he likes talking about you, right? Some of his people are all over Twitter, right? And they're like, oh, they're believing what? So what would you say to people who don't believe your story?
I was doing cocaine. I was doing Molly. I was being a terrible father.
Oh, that might not be it.
In no way am I absolving myself of any guilt. At any time I was there, I could have taken those 5 kids, called CPS myself, and gotten them help. I engaged in all.
Why didn't you?
Because I'm a piece of shit who will pay for that until the day I fucking die. Up until the day before the arrest, I was on the phone with people going, guys, should I call? I know what's going on, but I also know how this makes me look. I was a chicken shit. I was a fucking coward.
Let me just think, listen, like, we don't need to hear all that shit. We're here to be on your side.
Yeah.
Today.
What I'm saying is, Andy asked me to respond to those people.
Well, I'm just asking, because there are people like in chat and people who are wondering, oh, if you are lying. I don't think you're lying. These stories sound very consistent to what we've seen.
I'm interested because a lot of people, they ask, like, how into this was Kayla? Like, do you think she was originally against Nick's drinking and drugs and she was dragged into the lifestyle? Or was she just right there with it the whole time and pushing for it?
Here's what, here's one time in this whole thing to prove this isn't just a shit on Nick Rekieta fest. And boys, again, I can only tell you what I've experienced firsthand. What I heard, what the story Nick told me, and I cannot remember if I got confirmation of this from Kayla or not, but the story Nick told me is that around the time that he turned 40, Kayla either started doing these things or wanted to start doing these things because she thought that's what Nick wanted in a woman because of the things he would talk. Oh, that's what it was. He said that Kayla started doing these things because she thought that's what he wanted. Now, Kayla would expound on that and go, well, I was only listening to his show and listening to the things he said and listening to the kinds of people he talked.
So again, he's making Kayla the victim. Why did Kayla do all these things? Well, Nick said that's what he wanted on the show, so she tried to do it. She's not a victim. She didn't get her kids out of there. That's why she's being charged with the knowingly neglecting them.
And I thought that was the kind of woman he wanted. I just wanted to be the woman that I thought Nick wanted. And that kind of led to this. And then Nick just leaned the in.
Is that what Nick's worst day ever was? Or do you know what his worst day ever was?
His worst day ever?
Yeah.
A stream?
Yeah, when he said, like, I had my worst day ever, and then that's, like, led to this decline. Is that what that was, or do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. Rekieta has referred in the past to having a worst day ever, and I was wondering if you had any insight into that.
I would think it would be when I let another man my wife, but apparently that was...
So a lot of people in the chat are asking about Kiwi Farms. How much do you blame Kiwi Farms for all of this happening to you guys?
None. I feel like they were reporting.
So you don't feel like they made you guys, you know, swing or do coke or anything? Because that's what a lot of law tubers are saying, is that this is all the fault of Josh.
Yeah, and he spiraled or whatever. Because
these simple assholes. Nick has loved every fucking minute of it.
No one makes you choose cocaine over your fucking kids. I don't give a damn what they're doing on the internet.
And never once has wanted to stop.
Could they make you upset or depressed or fucking mad or angry or yeah, sure. They don't make you choose cocaine over your kids.
Fact. A few weeks ago, the last time I saw Kayla in person, I don't know if Nick and April know I saw her. I'm not sure. But this was after I had departed. I met her on neutral ground. It was great to see her again. And she told me the story of how she had told Nick. And this is so fucking tragic because this may in fact be the batch they got caught with. Kayla said to me, Aaron, it's done. It's over. She even said to me, Aaron, I hope you're proud of me. I've been clean for days now. I said, I had tears in my eyes, and I'm so fucking proud of you for that. I'm sick, because that's all I wanted from any of them. Like when I said I couldn't come back, I'm like, guys, I have kids who don't want to come to your house anymore. I can't, I'm hanging around my friends right now. See, the thing about hanging out with people addicted to drugs is that you get shut off from everyone else around you. And I have a lot of friends, I have a lot of family, I like hanging out with them. And I know, Ashton, I'm getting away from it here for a second, but when I told them I wasn't coming back, I was like, guys, I'm in my backyard right now. There's kids all over the lawn. They're playing with their friends. I've got friends and family and neighbors over here. I can't leave this again. I love this shit. We'll get to that later because that's when the Nick kill yourself.
Did Rekieta say stuff about Kiwi Farms in private? Like, okay, can you give us some examples of times he would seethe about it privately?
Yeah.
Well, Andy, let's talk about the thing you and I talked about privately. I'm sure you want to clear this up.
Sure.
The one thing Nick told me, and I got messages whenever I would mention your guys' show, and I went over your guys' coverage of the hot tub thing. And I thought it was
jacking me off.
We'll get to that, yeah. But no, I don't know if it got back to you guys, but
thank you. I got a donation. Thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Because I'm like, yes, we do look like like there's no getting around it. It's a cringe thing.
Terrifying. Thank you.
Can pan out. Those three would defend it to the hilt. I'm like, guys, we look ridiculous. And everything that came out of my mouth, I remember going, this is criminally unfunny. Like, this is really...
Okay, hold on. Let's go into the decision to do this hot tub stream.
I'm going to answer your question.
Okay.
I'm going to get to this because I'm doing a terrible job. Andy, Nick would always tell me, he said, I don't like Worski, is because he went on the air and he said that when Kayla was walking him back to his room, He said on the air that she tried to give him a hand job.
I never said that. What I said was when I was drunk in Knoxville at the bar, and there are witnesses to this, she was getting really touchy-feely and flirty with me with Nick there. It made me uncomfortable because Nick was like watching, and I was fucking out of my mind. I never said that.
So she was touchy and feely, and Nick was the watcher. And then they were swingers before this, obviously. Now, the Knoxville thing happened fucking 10 years ago. Andy Worski was supposed to go fight a guy named Tonka Saw, who ended up being a paraplegic or some shit. It was just crazy. But this is like 10 years ago, which is crazy.
That she jacked me up. I said that she was getting like flirty and touchy, and Nick was like looking over like, and then I brought that story up because I was like when we were hearing about all the stories about them possibly swinging, I'm like, oh, maybe, I mean, like she did seem like she was down to probably other guys and being flirty with people. In fact, she was being flirty with me and touching me and stuff. I never said jack off. I never like it.
Who do you think was the driving force behind the decision to open their marriage? Do you think Kayla was pushing for it, or do you think Nick was pushing for it?
You know, it's difficult because I know they were both unhappy. But I also know Nick has a way of making things Kayla's idea that maybe weren't necessarily Kayla's idea. I think Nick knows he's smarter than her, and he kind of uses that. So, I mean, I will say this. I think Nick Rekieta, borderline a monster. I really do. I think he's a bad dude. I don't think he has the ability to feel empathy towards anyone but himself. I think it might be a clinical condition. I mean, the guy is, because he's convinced he's right.
Let me ask you something.
Hear the kind of guilt I'm espousing right now, espoused by him.
You said this in DMs. You said that he was a Warren Jeffs tier cult leader.
Yeah.
Can you explain what you mean by that?
Well, what I mean by that is, if you, like when I said I wanted to leave, he treated it like I was leaving the fucking Manson family. Like I said, I'm not coming back. And his fucking words were, you led my wife on.
What? What the fuck?
I'm like, I led
her on.
What?
It was just a fuck, right?
Which was a weird fucking thing to say. And then when I said, dude, I can't do it anymore. My kids don't want to be there. If my kids don't want to be there, my hands are tied. There's nothing I can do. And April had left by this point, so she was done. So I was like, this is a clean break. I can be done with April. She can be done with me. The kids can be done. They didn't like April anymore because the drugs had made her, I'll say, love the kids when it was convenient for her. Okay. And they noticed that. Okay. And they knew that she wasn't as active in their lives anymore. And my oldest started to resent her.
Oh, did I do something?
So I was like, you know what? This is a good time to call it. Nick lashed into this invective on Signal where he started saying, you know, you flabby, fat, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Just starts going into these laundry list of descriptive physical features. And then goes, why don't you do the whole world a favor and kill yourself?
Whoa.
And I'm sitting in bed. I read that. And I finally, literally the last thing I ever said to Nick Rekieta was, LOL, okay, addict, and then blocked him. And that was it. May
I ask you, why didn't the kids want to be there? Like, what behaviors did they see?
Their parents weren't ever around. Like, they were like, Dad, you're the only one who ever comes out to check on us or anything. We don't play with you. We don't hang out with anybody. You know, we're on our tablets. It's not fun. We don't want to, because everyone was in the bedroom the whole time.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. Oh, I have a question here from someone. Yeah. So, okay, the gun charges, the shell casing. Did you explain any of this at all?
I'll tell you this. It was actually, the police report was the first time I ever heard that I was sleeping on a bed that had an AR under it. Like, if I would have known that, I would have.
Oh my God! Not an AR underneath the bed.
Fucking freaked the fuck out and said, "There's fucking my kids come here and fucking play. Can we get that locked up, please?" If I knew there was fucking ammunition and a loaded gun under the bed, you understand that their children come into that bedroom to hug their parents goodnight, and there's a fucking gun underneath the bed? I had no idea.
Let me ask you something. With the black eye that Rekieta got, how do you think he got that black eye, or do you know how he got the black eye?
My opinion, because again, I've been gone for 7 weeks at this time. My opinion, Kayla got mad about the live stream and either threw something at him or hit him with something in a fight. I don't know if that's true.
Did you ever witness Rekieta, like her throwing something at Rekieta or her hitting Rekieta?
She told stories to me about how she'd thrown things at Nick.
Can you tell me some of those stories, or at least one of those stories?
She was fighting with him about something, and she threw books at him. She's such a smart girl. I love her. No fucking firecracker. She took books out that were like the sanctity of marriage and like a lovely, happy household. She would take those books specifically and throw them at them and say, like, you give a fuck about any of this, you asshole. And she would tell me those stories, and I was like, I like this bitch.
I like that too. That's really taking it to a whole new level. Let me ask you again. We didn't get a clear answer on this. Can you tell us some times that he would seethe about Kiwi Farms or Josh privately?
He would tell me, like, the stories I've read on Kiwi Farms, because I only got into Kiwi Farms probably the last week or so. What a week to get into it. I tried to go on it before, but I found it, my old Midwestern ass, hard to navigate unless I knew exactly what I was looking for. So I would hear people, I only heard his take on the Josh shower text story. Nick would always explain, now that I've read Kiwi Farm's take on this, I realized Nick was always explaining these to me like he was on the witness stand, like defending himself. And he would be like, well, I was just in the shower one time and Josh was freaking out at me in text messages. So I just decided to text him from the shower. It's not a big deal. And I'm like, dude, I've never heard about any of this. I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. So I think it definitely bothered him.
Would you ever bring up an individual post and be like, I can't believe what this fucking guy said, or this is bullshit?
Not that I can remember. Not that I can remember.
How about John? Did he ever talk about John? John.
No, the first time I heard about John was the fucking rant he went on a while back. And I remember the next day I saw Kayla and she was like, I'm so fucking mad. She goes, I never watch his show. I finally decided to watch, and he's doing that, and he's really fucking hammered, and I'm so fucking mad at him right now. Which is a weird place for me to be, because I always kind of respected the unspoken rules about what we were doing, and I'm like, well, I'm not going to bash your husband. And I don't think those rules were respected on the other end, old Warren Jeffs. I think anytime April had a complaint about me complaining about her drug use, Nick was more than happy to be the shoulder to cry on. And here, have another bump, Blondie. Why not? He was the lovely Santa Claus with all the snow.
Because you called him Warren Jeffs again. Do you want to explain who Warren Jeffs is?
Was he the sex cult guy, right?
He was like in the Church of Latter-day Saints, and he was obsessed with making the other men's wives his lover, and he also had like child sex offenses against him.
No, none of that. I just mean the cult leader aspect of it. I would have said Charles Manson, but he didn't ask anyone to kill for him. He just has a lot of he knows what buttons to push with vulnerable people, and he pushes them.
Right.
He didn't do it with me. He and I fought a lot because I would go, that's f***ing bullshit. And Nick throws a fit when you don't buy into what he wants all the time. I remember he yelled this at me all the time. Why don't you just stop lying and be honest with yourself? I'm like, what, you want me to just tell you you're right and we'll just move on? Is that what you want? You know, I mean, when it came to April, I know there were times where she brought up issues we were having, and they came from, Aaron wants me to stop doing coke. I think it's fun. He's a piece of shit. And Nick would go, have another bump, sweetie, and tell me all about it. You know, Nick wants people to drink and do drugs with, like any addict does.
What do you think about this Kayla charge of like child abuse or negligence? What do you think that is? If you had
I really hope that maybe she just yelled something out while the cops were there that got misunderstood. Because I've never once seen Kayla be violent towards those children. I've never seen her be inappropriate towards those children. I've only seen her love her kids.
Have you seen Nick be violent towards the children or neglect the children or abuse them?
I mean, neglect. I mean, the whole thing's neglect. Everything was neglect. But never abusive towards them.
Yeah, because we're just wondering what that charge is about, and nobody can seem to make heads or tails of it. Maybe it was just that it was such a shit. We just don't know. We just don't know. So I was hoping you might be able to.
I don't know what that could be.
Okay, what about the homeschooling of the kids? Like, how did that work? Was Kayla active in that at this point, or was she just kind of strung out all the time?
It's like a homeschool collective.
Right. What does that mean?
The kids go to like a church school kind of a thing, or they go to someone's house, or they have different teachers, like different parents inside the collective, the co-op, teach. And so you'll go to different places. And I remember Nick was teaching for a little bit. He got kicked out of it. The school kicked him out of teaching because he's a f***ing degenerate.
Okay.
And then I remember one night he punched a hole in his bathroom wall, bitching about the collective kicking him out of teaching. And I remember saying to him, and Caleb both, I was like, dude, you understand? Like, they had every reason to kick you out. If they watched my show when I was teaching, I would hope they would kick me the f*** out. One of the big differences between Nick and I was that I knew what I was. And Nick thought he was like a fucking clergyman, I guess. Right. I don't know. Like, I was like, Nick, you understand we're garbage, right? Like, you understand we're shit. Like, we're degenerates and all of this. And like, there's, we got work to do. And he would go on his stream and pontificate about family and all this other shit. Sometimes it made me want to fucking puke. It still does. I remember one time he said, I might start a religious podcast. And I remember looking at Kayla, I go, if he starts a fucking religion podcast, I'm duty bound to stop it. That's not okay.
Now, do you know?
So it was through a church and it was a collective teaching, and they asked him not to teach anymore.
Speaking of the church and all of that, do you know how much intervention they tried to do with Nick? Like, did they sit him down and were like, this is crazy or what? Because the rumors that are swirling around is the mandatory court report was a pastor at the church, right? And people are like, did the pastor try and intervene? Did he talk to Nick? Do you know anything about that?
I don't know a lot about that. I do know if you tried to intervene with Nick, you'd get a giant speech about how right he was. And it would be like standing in front of a full-speed freight train yelling stop. I mean, it wouldn't have done anything.
Do you think Nick actually is religious? Do you think that he actually believes that he's sincere in his faith or what?
Now you just asked two completely different questions.
Yeah.
Do I think Nick is actually religious? No. I don't think he holds any of the tenets of faith. Do I think Nick believes he is? 100%.
Right.
I think he believes it.
Let me ask you, a lot of people have been asking about this. Did he ever talk bad about anybody in LawTube or any of his YouTube friends behind their back?
I know that he'd trash Vic a lot. He'd be really dismissive towards Vic. What
would he say?
Just about his sexuality and shit like that. And like, it was just all very catty. It was nothing like big and earth-shattering. It was just, he was always really catty and shitty, and how none of the Vic stuff was his fault, and Vic should have done this and that. And I remember him being really shitty about that. He hates Alex Stein.
Whoa. Really? Why?
I don't know. The reason he gave was fucking gay, and it was to try and get my wife's pants. Not that he needed to try any harder. We were already fucking each other. But he was like, oh, I was on a stream with April on Chrissy Mayer's program, and Alex Stein came on. He was really rude and mean to April, and that's why I don't like him. I'm like, shut the fuck up, you fucking gay white knight asshole. Like, that's not why. It's like, I'm her husband, and all I did was I DM'd Alex afterwards. I'm like, do you and I have a problem? Do you want to come on the show? Like, what's the deal? And it's like, white knighting, like, April, I just don't like Alex Stein because he trolled you a little on Chrissy Mayer's show. And then April would be like, oh, that's great, Nick. You're such a good man. He hates Alex Stein. He'd be shitty about the Vic thing. Anytime Nick had to post any kind of L, there would always be a long explanation as to why everyone else is wrong and he's right. Kind of like him getting arrested.
The way he always does with anything, though. It's like with anything at this point.
Habitual. He's habitually incapable of taking any responsibility for anything. And boy, you talk about projection. This guy will accuse everyone else of the very things he's incapable of. Every time, without fail. You could say
a lot of times that's tied to drugs, too. I mean, like, it could be his personality accusing people and justifying blah, 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 but it can be tied to... It also can be tied to drug use.
Tell us about the parenthood story that made you want to beat his ass. What was it that made you want to beat Rekida's ass in specific?
I told this story vaguely on the show, but we can get into it fully.
Okay.
If April had not been in my house one day, I may have been arrested first for physically beating someone within an inch of their life. we were at my house. Now, we have to go back to December or November to start this story, because the story happened around February, March. It was before Easter, I know that. After Valentine's Day, before Easter, because I bought Kayla a lovely Valentine's Day gift. And sweetie, sugar, if you're listening, make sure you get out of that house and get free. You've got so much more to offer the world, sweetness. All right? Love you too.
Did he get April a Valentine's Day gift?
No.
A brick.
What a fucking asshole. I got Kayla Star Trek action figures.
Which ones?
I got a Con and then some black dude, I don't know. But I knew she won't. Yeah, it was a Drew Hill collection. No, it was, some Star Trek action figures and then some snacks that she likes for her snack drawer next to her bed. And for her birthday, you know, she likes like charcuterie snacks and things like that. So I thought, you know what, Kay, sweetie pie, love of my life, gorgeous. I said, wouldn't it be nice to have something to keep all your snacks cool next to your bed? So you get them there. I bought her a nice, like, old-timey looking 50s Frigidaire refrigerator and freezer for her bedroom. You know, the retro-looking ones? Oh, yeah. What a gentleman.
Buying Valentine's Day gifts for another man's wife.
Were you trying to, like, steal her, like, to be your own wife? Would you feel like that was your mentality?
Was I trying to steal her?
Like, that steal, but, like,
no,
make her fall in love and then make her leave, and then, like, you were trying, for everything that you're saying, it sounds like you were trying a little bit.
I mean, I'm f***ing with Nick a little too, but I mean, really, I wanted to get her the f*** out of there. I don't know if I
be with her. Be with her.
We're a little bit sidetracked, but let's go back to the story where you wanted to take
real quick. I'll answer that question by saying this. Realistically, there's no f***ing way her and I could be together. She's got 5, I've got 3. I'd blow my f***.
Would you be willing to step up?
I wanted to get her the f*** out of that house.
Like, let's say Rakeda goes to prison and she gets off. Would you be willing to step up and help raise the 5 kids?
I can't get involved with that world anymore.
You wish you could.
Brother, I made too many promises to too many people who have helped pick me up off the floor from this thing, who would dump me in a heartbeat, drop me.
Fair enough. But at that time, you would have. At that time, you would have, right?
At that time, I would have jumped in front of traffic for this.
There we go. That's what I
loved her. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Let's finish that story.
Right, back to the story where you're going to beat his ass or whatever.
So the first time they came over, one of the first times they came over to our house, we're standing in the kitchen. And
this is wild, dude.
The cocaine thing. If I would have known when we started how
I don't think it was supposed to be all that.
Nick, Rakeda, and everyone were, I wouldn't have done this. Because I had no idea. But he takes the little bullet, the little container of cocaine out of his pocket, puts a little line down for himself on my kitchen counter, and just takes it up. And I look at him and I go, dude, what the f are you doing? He goes, what? I go, I got 3 f***ing kids and an ex-wife who, if she found a speck of that shit in my home, my kids would be gone f***ing tomorrow. Don't ever bring that shit into my house.
See what he says about the kids will be gone tomorrow. My ex-wife found out. But now he's admitting to a bunch of this crazy shit and just not even worried about it.
Okay, I understand. Yeah, I get it. No, I'm a lawyer. I get that.
I'm a lawyer?
Sorry,
that's funny. Good.
I mean, did a great job of showing up for traffic.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks. My State Farm bill f***ing appreciates it. You know? But, so then fast forward a couple months later. I'm walking around downstairs. My kids are there. No Rakeda kids are there. My children are there.
Uh-oh.
And I'm just walking around checking on them. You know, what are you doing? All this stuff. I think I had made waffles that morning. And I was cleaning up from making a waffle. I hear Nick yell, April, we made one for you. It was coming from upstairs. And I'm like, well, I know they ain't making fucking muffins. And I walk upstairs. You know that feeling you get where you go, don't be right. Don't be right.
Yeah.
Don't be right.
I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. Please.
I'm walking upstairs, and I see the mini safe that I know the cops eventually confiscated one day, open on my bathroom, bathroom counter, full of drugs. I didn't yell at Nick and Kayla right then and there. The kids were downstairs. I didn't want to cause a scene. I walk down the stairs. I go, April, could you come into the kitchen, please? April comes into the kitchen. I'm irate. I go, I told them to never bring any f***ing drugs into this house, and they have the entire container full of f***ing coke, and they said they just made one for you, so you had to know this was going on. And she looks at me, she goes, oh, I had no idea, but you're right. That's bad. I'll go talk to them. Not angry, not irate, not, hey, my 3 stepkids, who I claim to love more than life itself. Not like, get the f*** out of here, you lunatics. It was, oh, I will go talk to them. Like she was HR, you know, going to discipline someone for smelling a lady's chair or something. So she does that. I'm f***ing losing my mind. I go downstairs to be away from everybody. And to come and console me from how angry I am, who do you think would come down to talk to me about this?
Kayla.
Oh, see, I would think my wife would come down to console me and talk to me about this and figure out what was going on. But yes.
Yeah. Well, after the whole story, yes.
Yeah. The dear, sweet, lovely Kayla came down, tears in her eyes. I'm so
Dear, sweet, lovely Kayla.
I apologize. I forgot. We're so sorry. You asked us not to, and we didn't respect that, and blah, 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 blah. It made me feel better a little. And I'm like, okay, you know what? We'll continue on with our day. I go, but that fucking happens again. I'm out of here. Now, in that moment, I should have been done. It should have been it. Before anyone goes, oh, Aaron's just a rat who thinks he's a saint. No, I f***ed up. I failed in that moment right there. But then I go upstairs into the middle floor. I go to check on my youngest, the 4-year-old. And by the way, before anyone goes, should you really be telling these stories? My ex-wife has been such a fucking trooper. I've talked to her about I've come clean to her about everything. She's been great. She's just glad that I got, you know, our children out of there and everything else. I go up to the 4-year-old to check on her, and I see a navy blue container right next to her. And I pick it up, and in my head, I'm just going, it's Bubbles. It's Bubbles. It's got to be Bubbles. The kids are playing with Bubbles.
Oh, no.
I walk towards the kitchen. I start unscrewing the lid, and I'm just saying, I'm audibly out loud saying, no, don't. Full of cocaine.
It was a bullet, right?
It was a bullet.
He left it in the couch.
He was sitting on the couch watching something,
On
and it
purpose?
just sat there. No, it just fell out of his pocket and sat there next to my 4-year-old. After I asked him not to bring this shit into my house. So didn't respect. By the way, this is why this guy, bury him under the jail.
Wait, it was next to your kid?
Respect me a fucking wink. Didn't bat an eye. What's that? And
It was next to your kid?
it was next to my 4-year-old.
Oh my God. It's over.
I yelled for April to come down. I said, April, and I just held it out like this. And she goes, oh my God. I go, yeah, oh my God. Everybody out now. And I give it to her. She runs.
He even
I
says,
send a text to her. I go, I want everyone
he even says Nick, and then he says, we almost killed a 4-year-old.
out of the fucking house. I could not be more upset. And
Yeah. So
Kayla, I go out to the garage. It's Minnesota. It's chilly. And I'm sitting there. I got a blanket on because I'm just thinking, like, how do I not go and kill Nick Rekieta? Like, how do I not fucking beat this guy within an inch of his life? I'm not going to make a scene in front of my kids. But the animalistic part of me was like, just pummel him. Just beat the out of him.
yeah.
Kayla comes out to the garage. Again, tears in her eyes. And I said, Kayla, this is it. Like, it's got to be that shit or me. I'm out of here. She goes, no, you're right. It has to stop. It's done now. We have to cut it out. We have to be done. It's got to be over. This is too much. We could have killed one of the kids. Blah, 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 blah. Yes, wonderful. Thank you. April goes upstairs to be with Nick, to make sure poor Nicky's okay because he feels so bad about almost killing a 4-year-old. Kayla and I sit there playing board games with the kids the rest of the afternoon until they have to leave. April never once comes down to say a word. I go up to say goodbye to April. Nick and Kayla have left for a little while. I go upstairs to tell April I'm taking the kids. She's sitting in the shower sobbing. Somehow, this has all become my fault because I was mean to her and I told her to leave the house. And how dare you do that? And Nick's really sorry, you know. And I went, you're going to fucking make excuses for him after all this shit. Took the kids back. The rest of that whole night is a blur because it was a disaster. It was filled with fights and screaming and yelling. I know Kayla threw a fucking drink, an iced tea from Popeyes in Nick's face. I know that Nick started hitting himself again like a fucking ape. Oh, I got to tell you the baseball bat story too.
Go ahead.
That was the bullet. That was the bullet story.
Tell us the baseball bat story.
The baseball bat story.
We're out one night. This is where I got to be like Sting. This is exciting.
Okay.
We're out one night. We're coming back. And it's pretty well understood that Kayla and I are going to go upstairs when we get back.
Uh-huh.
And April can do whatever it is they do.
Because y'all are fucking freaks in front of your
He has this
kids.
weird thing where he wants Kayla to say it. Like he's texting.
So Nick's little kink is that it's understood. Like Nick's been fucking Aaron's wife. Aaron's been fucking Nick's wife for months. But Nick's kink is he wants to say, he wants Kayla to say, I'm going to go fuck Aaron.
Her, what do you want to do when we get back? It's already been established what's going to happen, like what's going on. And Kayla's like, oh,
The minutia is where it's at.
Weird. You mean me or you mean Aaron? And she's like, well, and then it starts this big fight. They start fighting about it via text.
No.
Because he wanted for something. I don't know if it's a sick, weird thing that he's got where she needs to say that she wants to me. I don't know what it is. But it ends with April and I are upstairs and we hear shouting in our front yard, which is fucking embarrassing. You don't want your neighbors hearing a fucking domestic in your front yard. So April and I go out there. And Nick is yelling at Kayla going, hit me, fucking hit me, fucking hit me, fucking hit me. He's screaming, fucking hit me at Kayla.
Yeah.
And I get Kayla separated from him. April gets Nick separated from Kayla. And I go, hey, get in the fucking house. Enough with yelling. And he looks at me. He goes, Aaron, you better get the fuck away from me right now. Now, I go about 6'4", 215. Nick's about 6'2", 140. I just got right in his face, laughed at him, and I go, you're not going to do shit. And then I walked in the house. He's losing his
Things that didn't happen, by the way.
mind. So then Kayla gets back in the house. He gets back in the house. Boom, they just start into it again.
This is just not how stuff happens, right? He doesn't walk right up to his face and go, you're not going to do shit, and then walk right back in the house. Those are those things that don't happen.
Yelling at each other, just blah, blah. At one point, Kayla says to him, and I think she did it to trigger him. I don't know if she was being serious or not, but Kayla says to him, every time I've ever had sex with you, I faked it.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Nick.
Really?
Oh, he lost his shit.
Let's
Well, what did he
go.
say to that?
He fucking he's screaming. He's screeching. Of all the things I've ever heard anyone criticize Nick over, questioning his sexual prowess set him off more than anything else. You could have said he was a cokehead who neglects his kids, and he would have went, well, I've read some articles that say, actually, when you do coke when your kids are young,
He was found out. He never pleased his wife. He was always soft, had to take boner pills.
Well, use
so
the
what you're
ball, though.
saying is it was, in fact, him who had never made his wife come.
Look, I don't know that.
According to her.
Did Kayla say you were better than Nick in bed?
She never said that. The only thing I ever heard was April once said to me that Nick told her, I've never heard Kayla make those noises before. When he was downstairs and they were upstairs, the night he couldn't perform and we were doing Snow Angels, I guess they had to hear us, which I don't take pride in that. That's not good. I feel bad. Like, that's not something you want to hear. That's a terrible thing to have to experience. But April told me after, she goes, yeah, Nick said he's never heard Kayla make those noises before. And look, that feels good.
Tell us about the Super Bowl story.
No, to the baseball bat first.
Okay.
Okay.
So they're fighting, and then different parts out of context. At one point, Nick says to Kayla, I'm sorry, I'm just not a good enough lawyer. It's like, Jesus.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, this is the only way I can make a living for us. She was talking about how much she hates his show. I hate the show. I hate when you do it. I hate what it's done to us, this and that. He's like, I'm sorry, I'm not a good enough lawyer. And I'm like, Jesus. And I'm sitting here, I got a show in the morning. Guys, I want to fucking go to bed. Right? Because April and I are upstairs. April's genuinely concerned. I'm just sitting here going, this is fucking ridiculous. April and I are 8 years apart. There's a lot of shit that happened where I'm just like, guys, this is embarrassing. We're 40. And April will be like, no, this is serious. We need to talk about it. I've never heard more people reference killing themselves than this group of people when they're high and like drama happens.
Really?
Oh my God. April's like,
I think he's laying it on pretty fucking thick, to be honest with you.
I wasn't around the kids anymore. Which, by the way, she left the kids without saying goodbye, left me to have that conversation. So you and your attitude towards the kids, using it when it's convenient for you, when you're not, But she goes, I've asked Nick to kill me so many times. It's like, well, then you guys all need to go get help because that's fucking insane.
She's asked Nick to kill her. Wow.
Oh, and then Nick does this motion 5 times a day. when he's fighting with Kayla or he's frustrated about something.
How often does he hit himself in the head? Like a
3 times. I saw it 3
just 3 times. Yeah.
You saw
So,
it. Yeah.
so now Nick,
Hitting
then they start fighting
himself
again.
in the head like a fucking monkey is the way he described it.
I finally hear yelling again. I go downstairs. He has Kayla cornered in our half bathroom in the entry. You know a house where you'll walk in and there'll be a bathroom right, just a toilet and a sink right away that people can go into. He's got her in one of those smaller bathrooms, and he's got her up against the corner of it, shouting at her. Now, I'm a big enough dude that I can handle a Nick Rekieta with one arm. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? I don't know what he's on. I don't know what the deal is here. So I go out to the garage and I get a baseball bat. I put it between the two of them. I push him aside and I go, get the f back. And he walks around the kitchen beating himself in the head. And then April looks at me and she goes, you didn't need to bring that baseball bat in, you know. I'm like, a fucking 6'2" man is standing over a 5'2" woman. She's crying. He's shouting at her in the bathroom. You know what? I should have broke fucking ribs.
You really were the icon sting, Aaron.
I was Sting. I wanted to play the music.
Aaron from the rafters. Oh, with the baseball bat.
Oh my God, and we're out of time.
Yeah, stay back, aim. Yeah, I know, Chad. Go ahead. Make your jokes. Stay the back.
Is there any more?
If you don't know what that joke is, hold on. Let me show you. Andy Worski, the guy that's doing the interview where people are like, stay back, stand your ground, aim at him. Andy Worski was down partying, coked out of his mind with some other people. And sorry, just think about it. They start some shit with another group down in Florida, another group of guys. And like when they say some shit back, he's like, his buddy, not Andy, is carrying a gun. And Andy's like, he's got a gun. Stay back. Aim. Just watch this. They started this confrontation though. And the internet has made fun of him for the last 10 years over this.
Is that him?
See, he says, is that him? They already started shit with this guy already.
Is that him? God, that's him. Keep going. That's him. Keep going. We don't have anyone around here. Oh, yeah.
They're coming towards us.
So let's walk away.
But they're coming towards us.
All right, yo.
Stand your ground.
All right, stand your ground.
Stand your ground. Stand your ground. Aim. Stand your ground.
Here he is.
Stand your ground.
Stay back. Stay back.
Grab it.
Stay back.
Stay back. Stay back.
Look at him. Look at him trying to get to his gun. This is like a first-time gun buy. He's like, hold the speaker, hold his phone, let him get to it. And he's like trying to reach for it. It's this guy in the middle that's got the gun.
Here he is.
Right here with his phone, right here.
Stay back.
Stay back.
Andrew, grab the fucking speaker.
Stay back. Stay back.
Now he's trying to get his gun out of his pocket.
Aim.
Aim.
Stay back, guys.
Aim right now.
Go, Alex.
Aim at him. Go, Alex. Aim at him. Go, Alex. Aim. So they start fighting. Failure is attacked by 2 men, taking blows to his head.
Stay back. Stay back.
Blow your fucking case, motherfucker. I've got a fucking gun, motherfucker.
Stay back. Stay back.
Stay back! Stay back! Stay back! So that's what his chat's making fun of him for right now. Because when he's like, get back, motherfucker, with a baseball bat, listen at him.
We're gonna stay back. Stay back. Stay back.
Blow your fucking case, motherfucker. I've got a fucking gun, motherfucker.
Stay back.
While the guy with the gun is the one that's backpedaling.
Stay back. Stay back. Stay the fuck back. Stay back. Stay the fuck back.
Walk away now.
Stay back. Stay
Back!
back. Get the fuck back.
Get the Stay back!
Get the fuck back.
Go.
Get back. Get back. Get back. Get the fuck back.
This guy thinks it's hilarious.
He was assaulted. Get the fuck back.
We hate Nicholas. We hate Nicholas.
Get the fuck back.
Hate.
Aim.
Aim at him! Aim!
In the cops now.
Aim.
We hate Nicholas.
Calling the cops after you just brandished a firearm from people you started shit with.
The fuck back. Stay back.
He's in full blown panic, dude. And his side has the gun.
We will defend ourselves. We will defend ourselves. We will defend ourselves.
Stay
back. Stay the fuck back. Stay the fuck.
By the way, Failure's out here. He's this big thing that looks like it could be a car. That's just his big ass. And they're just going to wail on his ass. Right? He's over here by himself. They made them walk all the way back to the hotel.
Fuck back. We will defend ourselves. We will defend ourselves. Do you hear us? We will defend ourselves. We will defend ourselves. You're going to fucking jail.
To be fair, he is from Canada and he's never even seen a gun before.
You will defend ourselves.
Now he's pursuing them, screaming, "We will defend ourselves."
On camera. You're on camera. Stay back. Stay back. Pull it out. Pull it out. Pull it out.
Pull it out. Pull it out. Get it back out. They're coming again. Get it out. Stay back.
Stay back. You get shot. You get shot. You get shot.
He's calling him a pussy, but he basically is, right? They started shit. Then when the guys come back to say, "Hey, what the fuck? You got a problem?" Then they pull a gun, start screaming like women. Now he's pursuing them.
Do not approach them.
Andy, what's up, brother? Do not approach them. Okay? It is not Tuesday. Do not pass go.
Failure, walk. Hey, get away from him now. Buddy, go. Get away from him. Aim. Hey. Buddy, you're getting shot. You're going to get shot.
Buddy, my buddy's going to shoot you. Buddy.
You're going to get shot. You're going to get shot. Now, walk away. Walk away. Walking out of your way. Walk away. Hold this. Do not approach them. They're walking away now. Get away.
He's handing shit to the guy with a gun saying, hold this.
Hey. Go. All right, leave. Follow them.
Follow them.
Follow them. Go to jail.
They're going to jail. Right.
It's on camera. You up towards me? No. Stay back.
Stay back. If my voice ever cracks like that, I will delete the internet.
We hate knickers.
Stop, guys. Stop. Not the fucking time. Fuck off.
Not right now.
Make sure we hate
I usually love that type of humor, but not right
We
now.
hate knickers.
Turn that shit off. It's not the fucking time.
So this is when everybody used to walk around live streaming, and they would have their donations go through a Bluetooth speaker. So you have your phone's audio go through a Bluetooth speaker, and donations come through your phone's audio. So they would always say stuff like, "I'm going to blow up the place," or "knickers," which doesn't sound like that when you say it. All those types of things, just to get the streamers get their ass kicked, basically. It works.
Stay back.
Andy's about to hit a motherfucker with his purse. Just wait.
Stay back. Don't approach my buddy. Do not approach my buddy. These guys just assaulted my friend.
Did you see that, fellow citizen? These guys just assaulted my friend. That's what happens when you talk shit, Andy.
We're following. The police will be here in a second, you fuck. Yeah? He assaulted our friend. He's gonna assault my friend. Really? Yeah.
That guy's like, really? What'd they do? They assaulted my friend. But what did they do? They assaulted my friend. Really?
Hey, Jim, guys. Failure.
The reason that one guy's so aggressive is because they're following him, right? Are they gonna jump him? Or they fucking already threw a gun at him. They can't stay where the fuck they're at. Like, I'd be pissed too, even if I had to back down. If they kept following me around.
You fuck.
This chair's lower than the other chair. I feel so much shorter.
You made the wrong move. What, you'll kill him? Hey, I got on camera, buddy.
The guy said, "I'll kill you." You assaulted my friend.
passports for white males. We were leaving. We were going to our car, and you followed us.
These guys threaten us right now to kill us.
Just calm down.
These guys threatened to kill my friend.
Was he armed? What's his name? Was the guy armed? I'm armed. No, they're just drunk. Hey.
I'm armed. They're just drunk.
Now they approach us. They're walking to the car, and they caught up with us. And tried to start a fight again.
Now they got an 85-year-old security guard on Team Worski.
Yeah, I think
We're getting arrested. They assaulted my friend.
Yeah.
They assaulted my friend.
Get away.
Will you be quiet? They're not going anywhere. It's holstered. It's put away. They're not going anywhere. They're not going anywhere. The Clearwater Marine Aviation. I'm a security guard right now.
No.
So basically, they were walking around. They always walk around and act tough as fuck, and then when they were tested, they turned into little bitches.
I'm just with these guys.
The whole internet has made fun of it ever since.
And they told them multiple times that not to. They're walking towards the.
Their voices are even like shaking on the phone.
My buddy used restraint. You're staying right there, okay? I'm with the guys that were assaulted. Yeah. We're sitting here with the security guard, the guys who assaulted us. Here they come. Walking towards the wall. I don't know. It's a what?
I don't know. It's a.
Okay, what are you armed with? What are you armed with?
It's a Walther PPQ.
Walther PPQ.
It's completely
concealed.
Yeah, it's concealed. It's completely disarmed.
Yeah, completely disarmed.
It's completely disarmed.
Walther PPQ.
It's completely
concealed.
Yeah, it's concealed. It's completely disarmed.
Yeah, completely disarmed.
There's no magazines in it.
No magazines in it.
I'm sorry. Did you hear that as well?
I don't know security.
Okay, there's the police show up.
Okay. Yeah.
Guess who goes to jail?
Put away the magazines out. What? Thank you, sir. Appreciate it, bro. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it, buddy. Thank you. Thank you, sir. You guys be safe.
Some homeless guy with some JVC headphones from 1982.
Everything's good. Hey! There. Police have them. Police have them. Police have them. All right. Police are arrived. They've got.
Police got him. They assaulted my friend.
They got him. All right, good.
All right, Alex. Put your hands where they can see them.
Yeah. Anyway,
So now they're all walking towards the cops with their hands up.
they got him right up there. Stay here. Slow. Let's just stay here. I'll put this down.
All right,
Now they're gonna want to talk.
Anybody else?
I'm pressing charges.
Yeah. No.
They hit me in the back of the head.
I know. I saw. I filmed it.
Like it doesn't hurt.
I have it on.
You're getting reported, bro. Said the donation.
I have it all on film. All on film. And then I ran up, and I told him to aim. Hands up.
And I told him to aim. I was the guy screaming, aim, 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 because I ran up and I said, aim, aim. They assaulted my friend.
Put him up on the. All right. Put our hands up. Well, you don't need them up. Just put them here on the rail.
Oh, we're putting our hands up. Oh, no. Let me get my phone back.
Hey, George, just stay here.
Yeah, all right.
Put your arms on the rail. You only put them up in there like you're a criminal.
Do me a favor, mute that. Just mute it.
Okay, I'm gonna mute it for a second.
When police arrive, Alex is taken into custody for brandishing a firearm. Ah! Aim! 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 He thought that guy was going to be able to run up and fucking smack him around before they could fire a round off. Faster than a speeding bullet. Oh, so that's what he's saying. Now listen. Now you'll have context for what he says right here. Because the other guy said, get the fuck back with the bat is his story, right? That's what Aaron said. Now listen to chat.
Time.
Yeah, stay back. Hey, man. I know, chat. Go ahead. Make your jokes. Stay the back.
Is there any more to the baseball story or what?
No, I was Kayla and I went upstairs and I talked to him a little bit. Nick, April.
That was a good side project.
Nick,
There.
and then I was like, I gotta fucking go to bed. So Kayla went down and talked with all three of them, and I got a couple hours of sleep.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you this. This is where we get a little filthy here. Okay,
At least Andy can now admit like all the stupid stuff he's done and shit or whatever. Like he doesn't still try. There's some people that still try denying shit they did on the internet.
the people that Nick brought you to the sodomy barn. Okay, what was it called? Pure pleasure.
Pure pleasure.
Okay, so
The
let's
sodomy barn.
hear about pure pleasure, where they sell used dildos and have at the back, what's it called? Like little booths to watch.
Yeah.
I will say this, boys. I hate to ruin it for you. I didn't know anything about the booths until I saw your coverage of it.
Oh.
So you didn't go into the booth with Kalo or
No.
did he go into the booth with April? Or?
No, nobody went to any booths. Again, I didn't know there were booths. You know how I told you that I was a complete gentleman and bought Kayla lovely, thoughtful gifts for her birthday?
Yes.
Well, Nick thought that we should buy April should buy her a sex toy from Pure Pleasure for her birthday. What a gentleman. What a gentleman.
So that was how it came up. So that's how it came up.
So the two husbands went together to buy his wife and Nick's mistress a used sex toy at the sodomy barn.
Right, the idea of going to the sodomy barn or Pure Pleasure,
picking something out for April for her birthday.
So you're going to go with him to buy a sex toy for your wife.
Was it remarkably uncomfortable? Yes.
Okay.
Actually, it was more Kayla who ended up picking it up. But like, it was like the two of them were like, we want to buy April something for her birthday.
What did you buy? What did they buy? What did they purchase?
Some kind of vibrator thing. I don't even know.
Was it used or new?
Did I ever tell you that Nick brought a St. Andrew's cross to a hotel?
Wait, what?
Do you guys know what a St. Andrew's cross is? A St. Andrew's cross is a sex device. Let's get rid of the dildonic ball sack device. A St. Andrew's cross is a sex device that is made like this. And a lot of times they're like red leather, but it's a cross like this. Instead of being like a Christian cross, it's a cross like this. And it has like straps to strap your hands and your feet up to perform sexual act. Like one person strapped down, the other person performs sexual acts. So if we look it up, St. Andrew's cross. I don't know what I can do without getting bad images. Bedroom device. Okay, see how you would be strapped to it. Let me click on images over here so I don't put something out there bad. Okay, yeah. All these look fine. So you would be strapped into this and kind of leaned back against the wall. And the other, so he brought this. Now, it's one thing to have this at your house, whatever you're into, that's cool, whatever. It's another thing to bring this to a hotel room. Like, what process do you have to, like, how do you disassemble it? You get it in there, you leave it up, the maid sees it. She's got to clean up the mystery fluid around it. Like, this is very weird. To bring it to a hotel room?
What?
Go ahead. Wait, what?
Go ahead, explain.
Thing, you know, the St. Andrew's
sex cross?
Yeah.
Okay. Now listen, start telling us some of these stories with the sex cross. Or
yeah, like this was the first time we ever switched partners.
Okay.
Nick wanted to show off his big sex cross that he had, so he f***ing packed it with him when we went out for his birthday in Minneapolis. Like, he brought this big f***ing sex cross and then put it up like it was normal. And, like, there's a lot of red flags here as I look back where I went, I should have f***ing gotten this shit out of here a long time ago.
No shit.
There's a giant sex cross in a hotel room. And Mike,
what was going through your mind when he unveiled the sex cross?
I can tell you, quote, what my thought was in my head was, why the f*** is there a giant sucking f***ing sex cross in the middle of a hotel room?
And then did he f*** your wife on the sex cross?
No, he didn't. Nobody got f***ed on the sex cross that night.
Can I ask, what is the sex cross?
What is like it? You know the Bolton family sigil in Game of Thrones?
Sure.
Kind of like that. It's the X.
And then
you put somebody on it. You put somebody
like
on it.
Undertaker put Stone Cold on.
How did you bring it? Like, you bring it in a big duffel bag? Like,
it's giant. It's in a giant.
What the f?
It's in a giant bag.
How weird is it that a safe full of cocaine is the second weirdest thing you bring to a hotel room?
Okay, tell us about some of the other degenerate sex toys that he owned. What else did he have?
I remember April and I walked into their bedroom once, and they were clothed, but they had their sex swing set up, and they were like, "You guys want to try this?" And we're both like, "A little, little sudden."
Yeah, can you explain? Like, it's a sex swing.
Yeah, just you sit in it. As Kayla described it to me, she goes, "No, Aaron, I sit in it and you f*** me."
So a sex swing usually hangs from like the ceiling, and it's like a couple straps. You can strap in it like belly down, belly up, basically. But it's got a place for like your ankles and your wrists and stuff. And it's not so much, it's about the motion because it swings. So like you could, instead of like thrusting, you could do the opposite by swinging the person.
Did you f*** her in the sex swing?
I didn't use that. No, I didn't do the sex swing.
Why not?
Just the opportunity never came up. We were
Well,
always...
it was right there.
No, they set it up. Like, and they took it down after, like, they showed it to us. Like, it wasn't, like, always up. It's not like you walk in there, like, our kids walk in and there's a...
So they like, hung it like on like a...
There might as well be a sex swing all the time for the kids to walk in. Their kids are walking into their parents, swapping partners, and staying the night and needing food. Is it bouncy? No, that would be a sex bounce. It's a swing. How many swings do you get on? And you're like, damn, this trampoline's weird.
A fucking chain or something, right?
Oh,
Like,
Andy, don't you ever show off your sex swing for your friends?
yeah. All the time. Yeah, what the fuck is wrong?
So
What
he
other
was
sex
going to
toys?
build a sex dungeon, right?
Oh, yeah, he talked about the sex dungeon before.
I thought that was a meme.
No, he wanted to build a sex dungeon.
Was
How
it
was
beside
that
the
the sex
kids?
dungeon?
I don't remember the specifics of the sex dungeon. In my head, over time, the legend has grown. I was thinking maybe there's like a candelabra and he turns it to the right and a wall opens up. But I don't know. That's just my own machinations.
Okay, what other sex toys are we talking about
Yeah.
here? Sex swing, sex cross, go on.
He always wore a butt plug. And then, no, I'm just kidding. I'm just,
Okay,
What? No,
guys, I'm
what
kidding.
actually was
A butt plug. It was like a rainbow fucking horsetail, like a unicorn.
going on?
You may as well.
You know, at this point.
At this point, just go.
As far as sex toys go, I don't remember other ones.
Like vibrators, fucking beads.
I remember the...
You're telling me that this guy went to the Pure Pleasure store and regularly, and yet the only sex toys he had were a sex swing and a
No,
sex
I'm not saying
cross?
those are the only sex toys. They had a whole dresser that was full of sex
A
toys.
dresser.
Yeah, a dresser, multiple shelves. Yeah, the whole thing.
Not
Multiple shelves of sex toys.
like a night table. It was the full on.
And he showed you, it was like the bat of goo.
Man, I'd like to go for a last relaxing swing. Why the fuck is it bouncing all over the place? That doesn't work at Zuko, okay? Those are two different motions.
Ass motherfucker, no.
So it was like the bat cave of gooning. And so did he like pull out the drawers and like explain
No.
various tools he had?
No.
And how?
Okay, drawer 1. This is for gentle, less intrusive, some outside the body play. You don't want to see drawer 5.
Okay, how are you aware then of the dresser full of sex toys?
It's probably the times they pointed at it and said, "That's our dresser full of sex toys."
They just said that, like,
Yeah.
this is just casually, this is our dresser full
Well,
of
you have the cupboard that your plates are in. They have a dresser full of sex toys.
Right. Did
glass.
did he ever get pegged?
Not that I ever saw.
It's not a denial.
No, I can't say. No, I'm only speaking to things that I personally experienced. I never saw the man get pegged.
Okay. Let me ask you this. What, like, aside from going soft, what was the most embarrassing sexual thing that happened with Ricada?
I would say the day that, the day that April had to come up and ask me for a pill.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
so
that
seems-
sucks. You know.
Super Bowl story.
It was a weird time. Okay, here's a weird Super Bowl story.
Sure.
By the way, Super Bowl story was baseball bat story. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Same one. Okay, cool. Right.
Okay.
So, God damn it, this was a goddamn good one. I can't remember.
Come on.
So, what were you saying? Where you were? You said.
You said Super Bowl story, and that sidetracked me.
Well, everyone in chat was
You
that.
ruined it
We're
worse.
talking about
Aim!
sex toys,
Aim!
sex stories.
Okay, the worst thing that ever happened was April had asked for the pill thing.
Yeah.
I think it's by dilation. So, like, up at the top, you got the ones that basically look like an ink pen. And down at the bottom, you just got, like, alien fists and tentacles and shit.
That's where we were.
And God. Nope.
Sorry, bar. Okay, how about this? Gay bar. Gay bar.
A90s.
Boys,
Big
you're gonna hate this because I would react the same way you're reacting. I had a fucking blast at that place.
I'm not
Yikes.
surprised.
F you, Ashton. No,
I'm not surprised.
it was. I like karaoke. It's probably the only thing Nick and I have in common. By the way, Kayla and I had a very special song we would always sing together. I don't even know if I have the strength to listen to it ever again because it was
Old karaoke.
Me and my baby always sang.
What was it?
It was a song by. Now I'm a who loves Eric Church.
Right.
It was a song by Eric Church and Susan Tedeschi called "Mixed Drinks About Feelings."
Right.
And her and I would sing it as a duet. Knock it out every time. Our official song that Kayla picked out, Chris Young, "Who I Am With You." There you go.
Now, did Ricada and your wife have a special song, or?
It's like degenerate Machine Gun Kelly music. They had no fucking taste, these two. Kayla and I were the soul of things. No.
I see. I gotta ask you, did Nick ever talk about Alyssa clips?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Tell us about that. Did he see it about Alyssa?
Here's the thing. I would always bring up you guys, or I would bring up Alyssa clips because I would watch it and I would think it's funny.
Alyssa Clips is the channel we just went to the other day that, what's his name? That Sue and Nick sent us to? Damn it, I can't think of his name right now. But that's the one that has all the small clips on it, short clips.
Even when they clipped me, because I know what the fucking game is. Like, sometimes you're going to do dumb shit and people are going to fuck on you for it. And then other times, other people are going to do dumb shit and you fuck on them for it. So I would let them know.
Montegraph.
Like, oh, I saw this Alyssa clip where I was doing this thing. I was fucking crazy.
Montegraph's the one who sent us on Alyssa
It
Clips.
was so bad, but it was really funny. Or like you guys, there would be clips of you guys all the time. And like, we'd watch them on our show. And you just like, I just don't take myself very seriously. So if we do something gay and cringe and someone makes fun of it, I watch it for the humor value of it. And no offense, Andy, but Ashton's investigative reporting on the hot tub stream
Oh,
is
great.
the funniest shit I've ever
I
fucking
no, dude, it's
What like a complete degenerate?
Andy, wait till I show you what I got. And I'm like, all right. And I'm like watching, like, whoa.
I gotta ask you.
And the Baldo is there.
I gotta ask you, man. So it was your idea to do the hot tub stream. What were you thinking?
I was just neck deep in pussy, and the girls thought it would be fun.
Okay, so let's talk about the decision-making process that led to the hot tub stream, because it was basically you guys almost openly coming out that you were in like a
Well, see, that was my idea. My idea was we'll be so in your face with it that they'll be like, there's no way they're actually doing it. Nobody would be this to do this. And instead, what you guys all did was just went, oh, these guys are swinging, they're just
Make it one thing then. On your show, you're like, Andy wants to believe it's true. I was right.
You know what I was doing, Andy?
What?
Lying.
All right.
I was lying.
That was pretty good. You know what I was doing, Andy? Lying.
2 hours, people wouldn't call me a
Bring it up.
Okay, so what did Mercatus say? He thought it was a good idea to do this?
Well, he was in it, so of course it was brilliant.
Oh my God.
He never thinks he does anything. Like, dude, I mean, some of the, like, I've always said this about like Kiwi Farms and other places, like some of the theories people come up with, 20% of them are f***ing insane.
Yeah.
50%.
Yeah, you don't have to be embarrassed by asking. Only once, by accident, I was in the back of an MRAP asleep, and someone stepped on my ball sack.
10% of them, there's some truth to it. 30% of them, it's like they're in the f***ing room. I have thought before. I've been like, is the ex-nanny leaking information? Am I sleep?
Oh, my bad. I'll forward it along.
Texting people? Like, how the fuck? Because this is like spot.
Where's that meme with the look directly at this fucking Men in Black that Phil uses?
F***ing on.
Because it seems like in this circumstance, with a lot of what you're saying, everybody was right, you know?
Yeah, and I lied my balls off to protect everybody involved. But now that they all got
Got to tell you a story. Before I got mad and cussed out the coach and quit baseball, there's this guy on our team. Let's call him Andrew because that's his name. We were in a game, and we were winning. We were doing really well. Playing baseball. I was catching. We needed like one more out, but we were up by like a bunch. It doesn't matter. We're gonna have a walk-off win basically because we were home, and we needed one more. So they struck out their last batter in the lineup. And then, so the first batter, usually the leadoff's a pretty good batter. He might not have power, but he usually gets on. You want him to get on base. You want your power hitter to be cleanup number 4, but you want your leadoff to be the guy who gets on base most consistently, even his ground balls or whatever. But they usually can hit a decent ground ball or a little blooper out to outfield or whatever. So I can't remember how many pitches are thrown or anywhere, but I just remember the guy hit the ball pretty hard. He hit the ball pretty hard, but it was just like a sinking pitch. So when he went to hit the ball with the bat, he hit it pretty hard. It made a good sound, but he was just a little bit high on it. So that fucking drilled it like towards the ground. It goes down the third baseline. Andrew's playing third. It goes down the third baseline, but he's not, and it's going right towards the base. But he's not on the base. You don't play on the base. You play a little bit to the side of the base in the gap between shortstop and third. So for some reason, his first step was to the left. So he's like behind the ball, right? He should have stepped right to go to the ball, but for some reason he was leaning left, or I don't know what the fuck he was doing. Anyway, so he's kind of behind running to get the ball. So it's a hard hit ground ball. It probably bounces once, and then it like bounces once near the baseline. It's going to be fair. It's going towards third base, and he's running over there. He takes a pretty good angle to get to it. Not the greatest angle, but a pretty good angle to get to it. He's basically going to catch it right behind third base. The problem is it took, like I said, it took one kind of bounce and then kind of lined out, and it's going straight for third base. So as he's going over there, it hits the edge of the base right while he's going by the base, and it pops straight up. And I swear, this may just be me misremembering it, but ever since I've told this story, I swear the ball hit him so hard in the nuts. It was like he was airborne, and it was like it lifted him up a little bit. Like it hit him so hard in the nuts. Before he hit the ground, he was all doubled over or whatever. Anyways, they had the medics come and get him hospital. Like, it's pretty bad. We finished the game, whatever. The next day, we come back to the field house, and his ball sack is wrapped to his leg, and he's got like just with like a layer of like pre-wrap. He's got on sliding shorts, like he's not naked. He's got on sliding shorts, which are kind of like Spanx or whatever girls wear. He's got on sliding shorts and ice and an ace bandage. and his testicle that it hit, I swear on my life, his testicle that it hit is this fucking big. It is huge. They started calling him Elephant Nut Andrew. They started calling him Elephant Nut. It is this, like he's got one testicle that you can see the outline of in his sliding shorts. His other testicle looks like a goddamn dodgeball. It's this fucking big. It's this goddamn big. Blew my fucking mind. Craziest thing I'd ever seen in my life. Imagine putting a fucking Baldo on that. Huh?
Arrested and humiliated me, and then when I contact them, they're all still in denial that they have any sort of problem. And then one of these motherfuckers left deadly amounts of cocaine next to my 4-year-old. I don't give a if I bury you under the jail. I don't owe these people any
What?
It could have destroyed my life. I made terrible decisions, and it was all
that's okay. What did you know anything about Mandy, or did Bricada ever mention Mandy?
Oh, Mandy.
I read the history of Mandy, so I don't know if he ever talked
Elephant Nut
about it.
Andrew.
I read the lore. I can't remember if he ever discussed it.
Okay. What about Dick Masterson? Did he ever talk about Dick?
Oh yeah, he talked about Dick Masterson, and love Dick Masterson. Always a cool guy. Oh, he thinks you guys are really funny too, and we'll hang out with Dick Masterson. Blah blah blah. And he used to tell people. And he's not close with a lot of people. It's unfortunate. He always says, like, I feel like I have to buy friends. And then I see the way he treats people who don't 100% go along with what he wants. I'm like, well, now I understand why this guy thinks he has to buy friends. But Dick Masterson was always, he goes, I told Dick, I've never seen Kayla more happy in years than when she's with you. And I just told him how great. I'm like, Nick, you probably shouldn't tell too many people that. That's weird.
Wow.
People are going to hear that and they're going to go, that's a little creepy.
So you're saying Dick Masterson was aware this whole time of the swinging arrangement? And
I don't know if he knew how deep it went, but he knew that I had gotten very close with Kayla, and I'm sure Nick probably told him that he had gotten very close with April.
Right, okay. And what other things would he say about just that he was so cool, like he looked up to him?
Like live events they'd done. So I had always heard the allegations about Vito, and I would ask Nick about them because I'm not as into.
Like a self-admitted map respecter. Like,
well, now see what Nick says. What Nick says is that people say that about him because Vito came out and defended the movie Cuties and said if you don't like it, don't watch it, and so people started calling him a pedophile.
There's a lot more than that, but yeah, go ahead.
I'm telling you, that's all he told me.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Did Dick Masterson know Bricada was using coke or drugs?
No idea. I don't know.
You don't know how old
Dick
he was
Masterson has
then?
only been nothing but nice to me in the very few interactions we had.
So Bricada was willing to tell Dick Masterson that somebody else was f***ing his wife, but not that he was going to do coke?
I mean, hot
I don't
fries.
know if he said f***ing. He just said
The good entertainment.
has made Kayla happier than I've seen her in years. He didn't say anything about.
Do you know if Dick and 80s Girl were swinging with Bricada and Kayla, or
I never got that idea. No.
You didn't get that idea?
No, I didn't get that vibe when they talk about him.
Tell us about the couch story.
That was the couch story was the next to my daughter.
We already did the couch story.
Yes.
The embarrassing sex thing. I remember what it was now.
Beauty, go.
Kayla had gotten me a birthday present. I'm a cigar smoker. I like to smoke cigars every once in a while. And she got me this beautiful ostrich skin zip-up cigar humidor with cigar holders and humidity trackers and everything. It's just really a nice cutter in there, a nice lighter. It was just really nice cigar set. And Nick goes, "Oh, I want her to present your gift to you." And so Kayla got completely naked, came down the stairs. This is at my house. I was seated on the couch, and Nick was seated on the couch too.
What?
And she brought the gift down to me and sat on my lap and gave it to me, but Nick's right there.
Oh my God.
I remember that was fucking weird to me. And then he goes I'm gonna leave you two alone. So then he goes upstairs, and Kayla and I are on the couch, and I'm totally not getting into it because I can see Nick peeking around the door.
So Nick was watching you f*** his wife.
Well, no, I wasn't. I couldn't f*** her. I was on top. I got on top of her on the couch. We're we're making out around and shit. But every once in a while, out of the corner of my eye,
I'm not the cuck. Nick's the cuck.
I can see Nick peering around the door.
Was it nice? It was nice. I mean, it was kind of weird to see it that big, but I mean, it was pretty nice. If you're into grotesquely large things, it was decent, I guess. I wouldn't say it was streamlined for athletics, but someone would enjoy it, Legend.
Out to lunch after I opened the gift. And I go, guys, can we just go out to lunch? I can't do this with people staring at me and peeking around the door. And he's like, oh, sorry, I just want to know what you guys were doing, so maybe I know what we should do. And I'm like, I don't need an explanation. If some guy is staring around the corner watching me, I'm not into it. Sorry. There were so many instances where Nick wanted to know what Kayla and I were doing.
You didn't like being the bull, basically, and having him watch.
I like having my own time with my sweet baby Kayla, with the gorgeous love of my life. Beautiful. If you see this, honey, take care of yourself. I hope you're all right. But no, there was
Why do you think Bricada wanted to watch you with his?
There was a weird vibe I got where I don't know if he wanted to watch because anytime there was one time where she would always try to sneak a little when we were in the bed and other people would beat her, almost to see if she could get away with it. I mean, not that I'm complaining.
Touching you and shit when you're everyone's sleeping, or
putting me in.
Whoa, okay.
And then one time we got into it, and she went and reached for Nick's hand, and he got his hand away and left the room. He's like, "No, I'm not into that," because he didn't know anything was going on. So we would get really kind of risque with our shit every once in a while. Her and I would get talking tos from Nick and April quite a bit. I know I got a talking to for our behavior, which always struck me as f***ed up and weird because I'm like, sorry, just the two of us are doing our thing, and we're not busting down the door to see what the f*** you guys are doing. It's just weird. They're like, Nick would be like, well, you guys, and when Nick was down doing his show, April would sit down there and
what?
Right. She would watch him do a show, and Kayla and I would be upstairs.
So April's the corner demon that Nick's always staring at when he's methed out, whatever. That's April.
It's free to do what we like.
May I ask you the setup? The setup real quick before. Can you remember that story?
She was a corner demon.
Was there a couch there and a table with booze on it?
Chair, she'd sit in a chair.
Just the chair. Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah. And sometimes they'd come up for that 1 hour break, and Kayla and I would be a little busy, and Nick would knock on the door, or they'd walk in sometimes, and that was always a little weird. Where they just walk. I remember one time we were at my house, and Nick walked in, and Kayla was on top of me, and Nick lost his f***ing mind. Keep in mind, there was a closed door. Kayla's on top of me, Nick loses his mind, we stop.
Kayla's in the bed. The door's open. I see Nick out the door. I'm like, Nick, sorry that oh, don't you f***ing talk to me, not now. And he's like on the verge of tears, like yelling at us. And I'm like, we didn't f***ing ask you to come in. There was always these weird times where like Nick would text me, like I told you earlier, asking me where I touched her. Or like one time they walked in from taking a break on his show and Kayla and I were kissing and he's like, what else did you guys do? What'd you do except kiss? I'm like, I don't think we did anything. We were just fucking. No, I need to know what you like. He needed to know what was like what he walked in on. And I'm like,
did you guys use condoms?
I'm taken care of. Like I've had 3 kids.
Yeah.
So
you f***ed Miss Racket's bareback and busted in her.
He busted all over.
I mean, is this
You did.
I alternated, every, a little column A, a little column B. Come on.
Come on. You raw dogged her. You raw dogged her.
Glazed her, huh?
Condoms are gay.
You glazed her. You glazed her.
Did you go in the back door?
I did
Any
not.
facials?
No.
Yes, there were.
No.
I saw your face. You facialed her.
I don't need
your
fucking
thumb was all over Kayla's face.
Walter Cronkite Ashton over here going, no, I've been investigating your face.
I've been investigating the facial expressions that you give. Lead me to conclude you facialed his wife.
No, you are.
No, I didn't facial Kayla. She's a sweet girl. I couldn't do that to my baby. I couldn't do that to my baby.
Listen, if you're on drugs, you facials or whatever.
I mean, how do you not?
You finished on her tits.
All right.
What are you, gay?
He said no anal.
We need to know.
Like I said, boys, a little column A, a little column B.
Was there a cream pie sesh?
Do we need to? I mean, how far do we need to go into this?
Was there cream pie?
All the way.
That's the line.
Sometimes things just feel good. You don't need to, I mean, we've all
69.
Busting in.
Call.
You don't lawyer now? You understand?
Do you hear the things I'm admitting to? Like, I don't remember. You guys ask a lot of things. I don't like how many questions you guys are asking about my sweet baby's pussy.
All right. That's fair. Well, as by the way, and Aaron, I mean, like we did have Sean booked for 10 p.m.
Listen, we're going to push him back just a little bit.
Yeah. Yes.
Let me ask you about something. So in the reports from the jail, they said that Kayla asked for her prescription bottle, and there was like stuff in there was like a gummy and a couple other things that weren't supposed to be in the prescription bottle. Do you know what that was?
I don't. I will say this, and this isn't me trying to protect anyone or anything like that. I only ever saw Kayla take her prescription medication. I mean, it wasn't like when they were doing cocaine and everything, but like I only saw her take the pills that she took for those days. She had prescriptions that she took in the morning and in the evening for sleep conditions. That's all I ever saw.
I'm going to get into some of our super chats here just so that they have a chance. Jeff Red Pill for $15. Did Nick ever inject anything? If not, then how did he get sores on his arms? What drugs was he doing apart from coke and Molly?
I only saw him do cocaine and Molly. As far as the sores on his arms, I never saw him inject anything. The only thing I can explain that as is maybe scratching. I know his hands shook constantly. He couldn't stop his hands from shaking. But maybe there was scratching. I don't know. When I saw that in the police report too, that confused me because I don't. You gotta remember, I've also been gone for 7 weeks, so there's a chance. I don't know, anything could happen. But my testimony here is what I've seen.
What about the ketamine that the police found?
He talked about how he had done ketamine in the past. I was never aware of him having or taking ketamine.
Okay. What do you think about the brown that the police found?
That confuses me too. I'm not sure what that is. I don't know.
Or Molly powder, right?
I mean, and the scale. I know the scale he used to measure out Molly doses.
Yeah, the brown may be Molly because it is brown at times.
What about the
Molly wasn't brown though?
Okay.
What about the spent gun shell casing? Do you think he was around with guns, or did you ever see him around with guns? Or
like I said, I didn't even know that gun was under the bed, or I would have said something about it. I don't think you should have just a loaded gun under your bed where your kids come and say goodnight. That's a little off to me. Maybe keep it somewhere else.
Okay. Do you know anything about the Sonichu demon? Asked Poltergeist. What are your thoughts on that subject?
I've heard about it since the arrest. I'm not well versed in it enough. I just know enough to know I don't want one. There was a lot of emotional stuff between Kayla and I.
I don't want one.
A little devastating.
Sonichu got him.
From watching all 3 of them, either publicly or privately, not take any responsibility for what they've done. Any amount of feeling bad I've had has kind of gone away because whoever I married, I watched her die a long time ago with all of this stuff.
How long ago?
And now, I would say we were fighting about.
I told you this is good drama. Maybe you don't like YouTube drama. I don't know, but this is good.
We were fighting about drugs back in December. I remember telling her, I go, honey, don't get into this. Like, it's going to be bad news. And she's like, it's only a little bit.
And I guarantee you, if they were going this far, I bet you there's video recordings of one or the other.
And she showed me how much she does. I go, but honey, it's going to get like this and like this and like this, and it's going to be more and more days. And then eventually, like, we're leaving to go to a show in the morning. We had stayed at their house the night before, and it's 4 a.m, and she's doing a line of coke to get up and do the show in the morning. And then there's one day where I see her do 2 lines of coke before 8:30 in the morning, and I'm like, this is what I was talking about.
Do you think letting Rakeda your wife at all contributed to the divorce, or was it just going to be a divorce anyway?
I think going down this road sealed the fate of our marriage. Like, I'll tell people, if they're ever thinking of doing this because they think it seems glamorous and fun, it's a fucking disaster every time you try it. And then you throw booze and drugs into the mix, you might as well just kiss your marriage. It's over. I honestly think that once you even suggest it, you're probably done. It's over, either consciously or subconsciously, because I want Kayla. Like,
all right, well, Captain Cisco for 4 asked, did Kayla like Star Trek Enterprise, or what was her favorite show?
I know she hated Discovery.
Right.
Discovery she thought was too PC and shit, which I watched a few. I've set up and watched some Star Trek with my beautiful Kayla. I think she liked Enterprise or she liked the series Picard. She enjoyed that. And then the one that had Picard on it, I can't remember which one that was.
Next Generation. Okay.
Next Generation, yeah.
All right, so I'm glad we know a little bit better Star Trek preferences. John Potter for 10 asks, did Nick ever talk about Ethan Ralph?
He talked about Ralph once in a while. He would always kind of say that he was okay with him. Like, he and Ralph were okay. They were bad for a while, and now they're okay. But nothing real specific.
Did he tell you about the farting stream where he shit his pants on stream?
No, he did not tell me about that.
Pretty funny story about
Look, I've gotten in between you and Ethan apparently here with my dual appearances, and I don't need to get any further in between you and
Ethan. No.
How do you so we got a question here from the super chat. How do you think all of this is going to affect your kids long term and Rakeda's kids as well?
Rakeda's kids, if they don't get help badly, and I'm worried about it, hopefully they never get them back before they're clean. My children, my ex-wife and I have been on top of this. I've been seeing a therapist. I've learned some tools to talk to the kids about this. Luckily, they don't know too much. But obviously, someday they might.
Yeah, until they watch the YouTube.
I've been very proactive in how we communicate that. She's actually been really good about.
Who has the kids now? Do you know who has Rakeda's kids?
Yes, and I'd rather not say.
Can you say? Just to end the speculation.
No, I don't want to, because all due respect to everyone on the internet, I don't need to be responsible for any lunatics doing anything.
Yes, swatting her or
Do you
something
think that your kids will speak to CPS, or are you worried about a CPS investigation? Because you said that your 4-year-old was like touching cocaine.
She did not touch cocaine. It was sitting next to her, but yeah. No, I mean, I've been very open about everything, like I said.
Ethan Ralph had a stream. I guess I should show you this since I'm showing you all the jokes. Ethan had a stream where he may or may not have shit himself. I'll let you decide. Here it goes. What do you think?
Yeah, so that was audio of Ralph shitting himself on the air. Immediately after shitting himself, he tries to ignore it and play it off, but it doesn't really work.
Let's see, cameras. Let's see, thanks, cameras.
The audio has not been edited at all, except for the music added. I've seen the original clip.
And then type in 420 origins.
Wait, hold on, what is this?
And then, of course, he gets a call from Corinne on the air.
Yeah.
Corinne.
Oh my God. Corinne.
Yeah, I'm coming. What are you doing?
I'm on the air right now. You're on the air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were real militia people that showed up. It was great. I love Richmond. It's all real men and militias.
All right, what time?
What do you need? I'll come over. Like in an hour? What do you need?
An
You want me
hour.
to bring anything? Yeah, what do you need?
I don't know. I'll text you here in a minute.
Okay, we could order it. We could order it. Okay.
Okay.
Get off the order.
I'll
Okay,
pick up some stuff around here too. All right, bye.
Okay, don't worry about it. I don't care. You're tired.
All right, bye.
Okay, cheers.
So after this, he
He's very
realizes that everybody in the chat knows what just happened, so he tries to play like a little soundboard meme.
He just forgot he was streaming, I think. This is when he was struggling bad. He's apparently clean and shit now, though.
Hell no, I ain't tapping out. I ain't tapping out, bitch.
And then this fat piece of shit just walks up and leaves. This is so bad. What the fuck is wrong with this guy?
Yeah, I'm glad he's doing better now, too. All right, back to this.
Said with my ex-wife and everything else, she knows all of it, and
A lot of people, yeah. Sorry. A lot of
it wasn't me who did it. So.
Yeah, no, yeah.
We got Vulcan who asks, Aaron, can you look at the camera and say, my name is Aaron and I've been felted? Let me see here.
My name is Aaron Imholt, and I've been felted.
Her words have never really been spoken. Okay, we got a question here for Figure again for 5. He says, how much coke would Nick take per day on average? You know?
Like, I don't know too much
He
about
got
it.
busted with 30 grams, a lot.
How often did he buy and how much did he get each time?
God, I don't know. I do have an interesting buy story, though. It would be a few weeks ago. We were getting into the story. We never finished it.
Okay.
Kayla was talking. Kayla and I had met up on neutral ground, and she said, "I've been clean for a few days." I go, "That's fantastic. I'm proud of you." And she said, "When we ran out last time, I said that was it. We're not going to get any more." This is a story I got from Kayla. That's how I want to preface this. She said, "When we ran out, I said we're not getting any more," and Nick agreed. When we ran out, April threw a fit and said she would go by herself to go get more. And I told them, and Kayla said, I told them no. And then Nick and I had a fight. And he said, I'm not going to let her go to Minneapolis by herself and, go get more or anything like this. So I'm going to go with her, and blah, blah. And Kayla was really upset and dejected about that. Nick rationalized it, the whole deal. That was the story I got from Kayla. And I believe that may have been the actual package that they got busted with. So Kayla did try to get it to stop.
Okay. And then did Nick share coke with anybody other than you in April?
Not that I ever saw.
Not that you saw.
Not that I ever saw. I can't say yes, can't say no, but not that I ever experienced or saw. And I'll point this out. Nick never took money for any of it.
But I was going to how much did he give away? Do you know?
It was always, he was gratis. He was always on the house, so to speak.
He was always giving it away. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see here. Who else asked the question?
Lots like 450 grams is like a pound.
Somebody here says you really need to buckle up, Aaron, because LawTube is not going to be happy about this stream. Somebody here, Greed, says show text or it never happened. Well, I imagine the next step is are you going to be revealing text messages to corroborate this story? Because you have said a lot.
He had to at least be buying it. I mean, at least an ounce at a time because he had basically over an ounce on him. So he might have been buying a couple ounces at a time, probably.
On this, and a lot of these people are like legal magicians. So
yeah, no, I do. I have an appointment coming up where all of that will be divulged. I'll give all of that away to the people. Yeah.
You were saying you were going to talk to the police and basically tell them everything you need to tell them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Like watching how fucking smug he was at his arraignment, watching how fucking smug he is now. I mean, if those kids are going to have any fucking chance, then there needs to be serious consequences.
I agree. I agree. There does need to be very serious consequences. Like, I
need to like work on absolving myself of the shit I did and the things I didn't do to protect those children or protect anybody in that house and the role I played in it. So if
getting carry some new tits or what?
Leave those children in a filthy drug den, Aaron.
You think Carrie's tits are full of cocaine?
It was. That
would be the best tits. Mariah, can we fill your tits full of cocaine?
3 kids of my own, and
that makes it worse.
I was looking out for mine, and I was removing us from the situation.
But you're 37 years old though, right, Aaron? Like you're a grown-ass man with 3 kids, and you decided to snort coke and open your marriage and let this guy f your wife and expose this degenerate to your children, and you never thought maybe I should be the one to report it? Maybe it shouldn't come down to the church pastor or whatever?
I did think it. No, you're right. No, you're 100% right. I did think it. I didn't have the balls to pull the trigger. That pastor.
But you did have the balls to do coke and f another man's wife, but not the balls to pick up the phone.
I'm not fighting you on that. I'm not fighting you on that. It's a mistake. It's something I gotta live with. It's a mistake I made. It's shameful. Like the word I keep using is it's shameful. Like I'm gonna have to work that off. I guess in a spiritual sense for the rest of my life. There's nothing okay with what I did. I mean, the only okay thing I did was stop.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
Everything else is it's unholy.
You're the wrong shade for chocolate milk.
I can't help it.
I'm not
John, you have every right to get pissed. Everything we did was degenerate and disgusting, and unfortunately, only one person can say that. I wish everybody could say it. I wish everybody could admit it.
Creallen says the part of the kids not knowing about the drug use I find hard to believe. As someone that had family that abused drugs, I can till this day immediately notice if they've had as little as 1 or 2 beers. So the kids definitely noticed. I mean, like Ricada's kids, they knew what was going on, man.
I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm saying I don't know because my answer would be, God, I hope not. I really hope not. But if they do and if they did, then God help us all because we're all pieces of shit for that coming out. It's funny, we were always worried about not showing affection to the other spouse in front of the children because we didn't want them to know about that part. But I will say this: I never saw drugs consumed in front of children. Okay. I will say that I never saw drugs used in front of children. It was always in the back, in the bathroom of the master.
Clip for 777 asks, Aaron, have you gotten a battery of STD tests yet? You should, and I would. And then 6 months ago from now, have you taken any sort of STD test?
I have had a few tests, and all systems go, boys.
All right, good.
Okay.
Yeah, do all the drugs, party, fuck whoever you want. That's all cool, but kids are different. You gotta have a sitter or them gone or something. You can't have kids waking up at 10 o'clock on a Saturday, knocking on your door for something to eat, and finding another couple in there in the bed with you.
That's positive.
That's tough.
Yeah. Pete Dever, the one-armed bandit for 10 asks, Aaron, can you confirm he has a trust fund? Are you aware how much per week, per month?
I can only speak to its existence. I can't speak to amounts.
Was he on the board of the charity, or is it just like a tugboat, like cash infusion?
I don't know. I didn't get into his finances or anything like that, no.
Okay, we got Chef Red Pill. Is it true that Nick was giving his nanny $3,000 a month for snacks for his kids, or was he only buying snacks for his nose?
What I do know is that Nick would complain sometimes that the nanny would turn in Walmart bills or grocery store bills for $3,000 in a month. That's what I remember of the $3,000 or $4,000.
Okay. I Punch Puppy for 5 says, you deserve this for leaving your first wife while she was pregnant with your 3rd child. How funny is this to her? You asked for this. Now, do you have, is that true that you left?
Let's clear up the...
I heard it was bullshit, but go ahead.
Yeah, so April and I met 3 years after my divorce was finalized. Like, that was over for a long time. I did cheat on my first wife. Total garbage. It's such a white trash story. We got divorced, and then while we were going through the divorce, we hooked up, and she got pregnant. We didn't want to be married anymore. This was like the worst possible case scenario, and we still went through with the divorce. So I didn't leave my wife while she was pregnant. Believe me, she was done with me too. Once she got pregnant, we had a weak moment while we were getting divorced. We took the kids to the playground, the 2 kids that we had at the time, and then when we came home, we went to the bedroom and we conceived another child.
Anonymous for 10 asks, he says Minnesota got like no snow this year. So what's true? How
Jesus
in the snow angel story be true?
Oh, we got some snow. I have pictures of the snow angels.
Really? Shit, dude, you should tweet it out.
I mean, I don't want to show I'm not ready for. Oh God, I can't show you guys those pictures. Oh, my sweet baby.
So you're implying with that you have nude pictures of Mrs. Rackets to back up this whole story.
I took this one in the morning after, and my dog had peed on the snow angel. That dick. Here's one of the. I don't know how well.
Okay. Okay, there are actually snow angels.
Nick also has plenty of snow, huh?
That's why we didn't get much.
I don't even know.
This one must have been my snow angel. This looks like an impatient. No, the other one was Kayla's beautiful snow angel. I think that one was mine. I remember it being very cold. She dealt with it much better.
These stories have been wild, but not surprising.
Crazy, dude.
Are you planning on testifying in court if this should go to trial?
As Tommy once said in Shawshank Redemption, just give me that chance.
Whoa.
Wow. So, I mean, you're of the opinion that Ricada should,
his arrogance has made me fucking sick. I would have shut my mouth, but that fucking stream where I know my wife was on it, and then all talking to the other 2, well, not talking to, getting messages from the other 2 since they've been out of jail, and showing that they haven't learned a fucking thing from this. I didn't feel bad. Like, guys, I'll be honest. I was gonna maybe keep a couple of things playing close to the vest here until Ashton went, come on, you know more. But it was, but once
you made a great choice.
Thank you, buddy. Once I heard from all three of them, either Nick's public, disgusting popes, and then getting messages from the other two showing that all they give a shit is about me keeping silent so they can save themselves instead of admitting what they did wrong and repenting. Like, I'm the only one here who seems sorry for what I did, and I'm the only one who got away before I could get busted. But rest assured, if they would have, just listened to me on a couple of things, I probably would have been there getting arrested too. I mean, and as far as Nick saying to the cops that April was just visiting, then why when she moved her clothes out of my house did she put them all in the Riqueda's house? And why did Kayla say to me, I'm f***ing furious, there's another woman who's moved into my house in my bedroom?
What have they been texting you?
I think you guys saw on Twitter the April text. I think Ethan Ralph, she messaged Ethan Ralph. Why she would, I don't know. Nothing against Ralph. It's just, why? She had this weird boilerplate text that she sent out to everyone. And to me, it was, charges have been dropped. I'm not an addict. Somebody did this to me. Yeah. And to me, that is such a fucking addict answer to something. Like just this whole
somebody did this to me. That's
like
crazy.
my friend Gino Visconti said on his show yesterday. You were caught in a house with drugs, guns, and children. Don't say anything was done to you. Don't say you're innocent. You were handed a literal get out of jail free card. And also, this is what a great operator Nick Riqueda is. This is fucking brilliant on his part, the way he can prey on people. He told cops that she was just visiting, so the charges get dropped. So then Nick can go back to April, and instead of going, yeah, I gave you coke, I got you into this downward spiral, I helped you into this world of degeneracy, she'll now think, my white angel, my beautiful angel Nick saved me when the chips were down.
Have you already archived all of the messages on the Signal app and everything? Because you should do that. Because
I'll be honest about the Signal app. A lot of those messages have been deleted by the other party. I screenshotted what I could. I didn't, because when they got until they got arrested, I didn't think I'd need these Signal messages.
Yeah.
But on Signal, you can delete your messages so they can't be visible.
Okay.
Right. So
you can even set them up to auto delete, like on Telegram.
From 2 of the 3 of them. I'm sure if I went back in my text with Nick, I'm sure I have a few text messages. But Nick's a pretty slippery dude. He only operates on encrypted apps.
Yeah. Okay. Do we want to bring Sean on at this point?
Yes. Another stage, real fast. I think April, like the reason that she's not being honest is she's throwing everyone under the bus. She is going to do whatever she can to be the victim. And well, you Nick, you Kayla, you're going to get this. I'll talk.
Gino read a text from her that kind of blows Nick's story out of the water. And that was, she sent Gino a text that said, when my life was hard, these people have given me a place to live. And that kind of conflicts. And the message I got from
do you know where she's living now?
No idea, and I don't want to.
How would you react, or how would you feel if she goes down to Mexico and f***s Ralph for drugs?
I'm glad it was after me.
Yeah, I mean, that's about the best answer you can get.
Right?
What do you think the likelihood of that is? Because she obviously wants to be like in an e-celeb type relationship, do drugs, and have no accountability. I mean, he would fit in well with the lifestyle she wants to live, right?
I mean, you've got a pretty decent sized following there, Ashton. I mean,
you think I should pay for it, buddy? Is that what you're recommending, bud?
No, I just, you put the image of Ralph in my head and you upset me, so I was trying to throw it off.
All right, guys. Sorry, I just turned into snacking and watching a movie unfold. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for the support. I did get a donation through PayPal. I appreciate those. Donations have been slow, but that's all right. We'll figure something out. Thank you guys for joining us. Thanks for hanging out with me. That's it. That's all I got tonight. I just want to go over that. We got some Phil stuff to go over, some live streams, probably some court docs by the time we get back. I should be here earlier this week. Now that we got through the Memorial Day push, there are still some projects, but they're not as rushed as other things. So thank you all for joining us. We'll be back for Patreon tomorrow. Patreon, if you and Twitch subscribers tomorrow, if you want to be part of that. Sign up at patreon.com/coldbeer or become a Twitch subscriber. That's one of the big, that's one of my big income revenue streams. And I've had to kind of neglect it the last week and a half, but I got to get back on it before I lose patrons. Thank you guys for sticking around, and we'll be back on that. And love you. See you. Bye. Have a good night. Why does it keep doing that? Going on the wrong screen. I know I'm beautiful.
This particular show, you don't have the fork and balls to call out the people on this planet by name and tell them exactly who they are and tell them the rest of the world who they are. You don't have the fork and balls. You don't have the balls.
Okay, Scott.
Here we go, I think I started some shit. Listen off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Listen off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet.
And they say that I'm a lunatic. Well, listen, bitch, I came equipped with a quick wit and a 6th sense for the stupid shit.
Where my true believers?
Y'all need Jesus.
Praise the Lord, head to the extreme.
All these false fucking prophets who profit off of gossip. Worshipping drums, cocking, begging for a throat deposit. Swinging fucking meat hammers like Thor in a thong. He's strapped to the shaft, eating his chest like he's King Kong. Starving for attention, I'ma make your gut burst. I'll be your huckleberry, I can quench that thirst. Baby eating lizard people, alien sex. What's next? Trump in a dress, fucking Flynn on his desk. A retard in a vest, climbing up 5G towers. Cause you told him if he did, he'd get fucking superpowers. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in them bets, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in them bets, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. I used to find clues too when I was high on shrooms. I found myself a tunnel that led to Jason Q's bedroom. Opened his closet, I found some of his meat rockets. I strapped it to my shoes and then I flew through the roof. I found myself in orbit strapped to an F-16. High on amphetamine, with Trump in between. Put on a light coat of baby oil and saluted the troops. He tapped me on the shoulder and said, "This is gonna be it." Whoa, wait. Stop. What? I'll get my files. Wait, what are you doing? It's it. Stop. Hold on. Fucking stop. Dude, come on. Seriously. This is my mom's an alcoholic. Oh, give me a... Oh, my God. Damn it. Here we go. I think I started some shit. Piss them off. It's about to get lit. Get the place in them bets. You know that stage is set. You better buckle up, because you ain't seen...
Have a good night, guys. See you on the next one.